We all know that Aaron Rodgers will be on the New York Jets roster for the 2024 NFL season, but there are some question marks about who will be backing up AR for next season. Well, tonight we're going to look at some prospects the Jets could draft in the middle rounds, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the free agent options as well. It's Wednesday night, it's 10 p.m. You know what's up. We're live. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watch UK99. Thank you as always for joining me tonight. It is Wednesday, always the highlight of my week to do the Wednesday night live show. And we got a whole lot to talk about. We're going to get into some New York Jets football for sure. We're going to spend a good amount of time talking quarterback this week. Now, I know there's other things to address. I know there's an offensive line hole. Several offensive line holes, let's be honest. There's a wide receiver need. There's a couple other things to address, but we do have to talk about the quarterback situation. That's what we're going to get into tonight. Of course, we've got Jets trivia coming up a little bit later on. And hey, we get enough likes if we get 15 likes. So you want to hit that thumbs up button. We're going to spin the wheel tonight. And I kind of feel like having a little bit of fun. I want to spin the wheel, but I need your support in order to do that. So please hit that thumbs up button, share with a friend. Okay, now that we get all that out of the way, let's talk about what's on my mind tonight with a little bit of what we call 3 and out. So the first thing that I would have to talk about is basketball, the Knicks and the Nets at the Barclays Center on Tuesday night. The Knicks walk away with a 108-103 win. You know, it was interesting. The Nets were wearing their dark uniforms, which still feels a little weird to me in NBA arenas, except it only seemed appropriate on Tuesday night. And the reason it seemed appropriate is because I swear 75% of that building was Knicks fans. It was crazy. The Knicks were wearing their home whites. That crowd was loud. It felt like a game at the Garden. But the Nets, hey, they played with some hustle. They led the Knicks by 9 points at the start of the fourth quarter, but then the Knicks took the game over. They outscored the Nets 32-18 in the fourth period, closing out the win with a 10-3 run over the final 2 minutes. And this is becoming kind of a concerning trend if you're a Nets fan. This is a team that blew an 18-point lead to the LA Clippers on Sunday. All right. Mikal Bridges played very, very well. Credit to him, 36 points, but only 3 points in the fourth quarter. Not so good. As far as the Knicks go, they won a game without their top 2 centers. Mitch Robinson, of course, still out with the ankle injury. Isaiah Hartenstein was out with an Achilles injury, which had some sort of long name that I couldn't even try to spell, let alone pronounce. But Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle both scored 30 points. And you got to give Leon Rose a lot of credit, the Knicks GM, for putting this roster in place, and credit to Tom Thibodeau for coaching them well. This is a top team in the East. I would say definitely top 4 to top 5. Now, the team to me is still a little bit incomplete. Now that they've lost Emmanuel Quigley, and, you see it when Jalen Brunson goes to the bench. They still have a very serious hole on the bench. They need a playmaker, somebody who can give them some quick offense, give them that scoring punch. Because I would be a little bit worried about, Julius, Jalen, and OG Anunoby playing too many minutes and being worn out for the playoffs. But the trade has worked out amazingly well with Toronto. Since the trade for Anunoby, the Knicks are 10-2, and they have not lost a single game to a sub-500 team. That's pretty impressive. And then Thursday night, they got a date with the world champion Denver Nuggets. That is going to be a heck of a game. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit of the New York Icelanders, a little hockey. losing 3-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights on Tuesday night. Man, Vegas just doing very, very well in the tri-state area. This was the Isles' first loss under Patrick Waugh, their new coach. Now, Vegas did get 1 point in New Jersey, but they gave up 6 goals to the Devils. And after they gave up all those goals, well, you knew they were going to have to crack down. They were going to clamp down on their defense, and they did exactly that. So I will say this: the Islanders did have a lot of shots, 43-27, but they also had 14 giveaways to the Golden Knights 5. So the Islanders a little careless with the puck, not so good. And here's another thing: they failed on 2 power plays in a row. And then the Islanders, they actually take a penalty of their own. They cut the Vegas lead to 3-2 with a shorthanded goal, but they could not get anything to go in the final 9 minutes of the game. If you've been on with me before, you know when I talk about the Islanders, my biggest concern about that team is their third period play. They struggled to put 60 minutes of good hockey together, and so far we are not seeing a major difference in that. But, we shall see. They needed a new coach. Let's see what Waugh does. Now, before we get to the disaster in Madison Square Garden, let's say hello to a couple people in the chat. Hank G, the first one to make it tonight. Good job, my friend. Being out Jets mess. Man, where's Jets mess right now? North Carolina V-Man, hello to you, my friend. I love the great state of North Carolina. I'm actually going to be down there in a couple of weeks. I always enjoy when I get to go down there. We've got Matt C. Hey, Bubba. I'm not sure who Bubba is. I may live in Virginia, but I don't think anybody's going to mistake me for a Bubba, even though I do like country music quite a bit. And I've got more into the mac and cheese and the Southern food. I can get into it. But yeah, there's some Southern customs I've just never quite grown accustomed to, Like, I moved down here. I got to tell you, I'll just quick aside. I moved down south for the first time, really, when I was, 36 years old. And I never heard of somebody being called the first time I was called Mr. Adam, or I heard someone called Mr. John or Miss Jennifer or Miss Sarah. I'm like, what is that all about? I never heard that before. I mean, I'm guessing most of you guys grew up in the North. I mean, I never heard of Mr. or Miss and then the first name, but that's something they do down here. And I've learned a lot of really good cuss words down here, like son of a biscuit eater. I didn't hear that growing up in in Central Jersey or going to college in Boston. You know what I'm talking about? We didn't say son of a biscuit eater back then. Matt C., are we going to talk about Spencer Rattler? You better believe we're going to talk about Spencer Rattler. We absolutely will. Yes, as I go through some of these guys, I'm very, very curious to get your opinions. Harlan Abraham, it is good to see you as well. I'm always glad when you're here. Yes, please hit the like button. It means a whole heck of a lot to me to, get the word on the channel out. Grandizer, Vegas cheated. They always cheated. Well, you know what? They've earned the ability to cheat, as good as they are. Adam the Bubba. Well, I'll go with Watt2K99, but hey, I've been called worse things in my life, so that's okay. Grandizer, we're going to get to that crap right freaking now, okay? This game was a disgrace last night, and the only thing that I'm thankful about is I was asleep for the third period. I was out on the couch. I slept from about midnight to about 2:45 in the morning. So, yeah, I was not awake for that third period when the Rangers choked away a 2-0 lead. So they had a 4-game trip out west. And remember, earlier in the season, the Rangers really started to make their mark when they were out west, and they swept 5 games. This time they only got 3 points out of a possible 8. But to lose in overtime to San Jose, I mean, watching that game, oh my gosh. The game was in overtime. Yeah, not a shootout. But watching that game and listening to the crowd, I've heard louder crowds at chess matches, at curling contests. Okay, it was dead silent in that arena last night. But now the Rangers have lost 8 of their last 12 games. And actually on Twitter last night, one of the Rangers' main Twitter people, we'll just say, was asking, what are your predictions for tonight? And jokingly, I was thinking about, well, ex-Rangers always seem to score against them. Anthony Duclair would be too easy. Ryan Carpenter. Yeah, Ryan Carpenter, the fourth-line center who played 15, 20 games for the Rangers last year. Watch him score a goal. And sure enough, he deflects in the game-tying goal to make it 2-2. Of course he did. Yeah, great guys. The game went to overtime. It didn't get to a shootout. So the Rangers did get 1 point, but still, they should have had two. But yeah, a no-name, do-nothing fourth-line center who will probably play for 12 teams in his career and is probably going to be outcasted to the freaking Russian league soon, scores that goal. And the rest of the third period, with what I saw, no urgency from the Rangers, no forechecking, no aggression, no sense that, hey, we better win this game. They had 10 shots on goal in the third period and only two legitimate scoring chances. I am disgusted where this team has gone over the last 20 to 25 games. They've got Vegas tomorrow night. That should be just a day at the beach. Just a day at the beach. But you got two more games until the much-needed All-Star break, and this team has to take a freaking look inside and figure out what kind of team they are, because they're still in first place in the division because they had such a good start. But, their margin for error is running out, and it is running out fast. All right, guys. We have the orange up there. I think we need to switch it over. Yeah, let's flip it over to green as we say goodbye to the 3 and out. Thank you very much. So I think what we need to do is put ourselves in a mood, and I think we got to do that with a little song, and the song goes like that. All right, so yeah, it is time to talk a little bit of New York football Jets, and we're going to spend a good amount of time on the quarterbacks tonight and try to get to know these guys a little bit. But before we do that, let's touch on the news a little bit. Quick hello to Wild Wave, my guy too. Apparently, I'm now a Bubba, according to Matt C. I mean, his word here is gospel, so good to see you here, man. Good to see you. All right. And yep, reminder, super chat, super thanks, all that good stuff. They're all available if you would like to support. Always very much appreciated. And I'll get to your comment pretty much immediately with any financial support. So, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So with the Jets news, it's been a lot about coaches as of late. Taylor Embry out as the running back coach. I saw most people, I think, had a level-headed perspective on this. I think most people felt, okay, he's the running backs coach, but how big of a role does he have? I did see some people saying, Breece Hall has this unbelievable season, and you get rid of his coach. What are you thinking about? All right, I said, okay, so my thought is that if Taylor Embry is responsible for Breece Hall's great season, then I guess you also have to blame him for Dalvin Cook being an absolute failure. You have to blame him for Michael Carter not doing much of anything. You may as well do that. And don't forget, Embry and Michael Carter had that blow up on the sideline earlier in the season. Now, we don't know exactly whose fault that is. You can put it on Embry, you can put it on Carter. I'm sure a little bit of it is in the middle. So now they are interviewing running back coaches. Will it be Deuce Staley? Afraid not. He is going to the Cleveland Browns. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of get it. I kind of get why, because if I'm a coach and I'm looking at the Browns or the Jets, why wouldn't I go to Cleveland? Robert Saleh basically is in a win or else situation this season. And, Cleveland with Stefanski and whatnot, they had a very good season last year. It seems like it's a little bit more of a stable situation. And Deuce Staley was just coaching in Carolina. Do you think he wants to go from one questionably coached franchise to the next? That was a franchise that got rid of their head coach midseason. He don't want to go through that 2 years in a row. So it's not about not being able to close the deal. I think that Staley just felt he had more security going to Cleveland, and I can't blame him for that. All right, so no hate on that. But so now they're interviewing this guy, Tony Dews, who is in Tennessee, because that's exactly what we know the Jets all need. We need more offensive coaches from Tennessee because Todd Downing and Keith Carter weren't enough. Let's bring in the running back coach from Tennessee as well, right? Let's just do that. Why don't we? Now, I got to be honest with you. I don't know the first thing about Tony Dews, except he's African-American. I don't know what his history is in football. I never heard of the guy. But, let's see if they do end up hiring him. Fine. But I will say this. I'm very confident in saying that Tony Dews will not be responsible for the long-term success or failure of Breece Hall. Okay, I don't think that that's going to happen. Quick hello, Johnny Jimenez, my fellow Virginia Jets fan. What's my dude? I think Johnny forgot a word. I don't know, man. I will say this: the party at Art's house Saturday night, a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Yeah, and my wings went over very well. We did break out the punching bag, and wow, it was amazing how some people could punch and how some people just could not, especially after a few too many shots of Fireball. Maybe that brings the king to New York. Who's the king? I know you don't mean Henrik Lundqvist. The king, the king, the king, the king. Johnny, give you a little context on that. I'm not sure who we're referring to with the king here. All right. Well, there is some good news, though, in the coaching world. So the Jaguars hired Ryan Nielsen as their defensive coordinator. He was in Atlanta, and that's good news for the Jets, and I'll tell you why. Oh, Johnny Jimenez. Oh, the king. He's talking about Henry. Well, yeah. Derrick Henry, I think, is who he means. Is Derrick Henry called the king in Nashville? Hey, David, how you doing, brother? I've never heard Derrick Henry called the king, but maybe he is called that in Nashville. I guess it makes sense. I guess Henry's an easy name for a king thing. I don't know. I mean, it could happen. We're going to get in other positions in due time, but I don't know. I think Derrick Henry would still look at himself as a feature back. I don't see why he wouldn't. If I am, I'm still trying to get one more year where I can start, because if you're going to the Jets, you know you're the number two, and there's no way around that. Yeah. I just never heard him call King Henry. I just hadn't heard him. So hey, what can I say? I need to listen to more Titans podcasts, evidently. But Mark Manuel, the Jet safeties coach, was in the mix for that job. So I think it's good news he didn't get it. So that is going to allow the Jets to keep some of their defensive coaches, because if Manuel gets hired, he's bringing one or two assistants with him, and probably the assistant who was probably going to come over was Aaron Whitecotton, the Jets defensive line coach. And earlier tonight, the Jets made a new deal with him, which is really good news. So Aaron Whitecotton will stay as Jets defensive line coach. Hey, I'm looking for the small victories here, guys. I've got to do what I can. So he was going to be a free agent in about a month or two, and the Jets gave him a deal to stay. So that is just another example of taking care of your own. I know it's not a player. I know it's a name that nobody outside of the Jets fans know who he is. But taking care of your own, the players know that. I'm sure that they believe in him, and I'm sure that's got to make him feel good. And hey, maybe he has a good relationship with Bryce Huff. I'm not saying that plays a factor into whether Bryce Huff stays or whether he goes, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to hurt matters. Grandizer with the question: was it good to see the Bills lose to Kansas City? I got to tell you, I was kind of mixed on it. It's one of those games where, for me, there were positives, there were negatives. If the Bills won, we wouldn't have had to see the Taylor Swift Army anymore, and I would have been all good with that. Although I got to say, I mean, if of the three teams in the division besides the Jets, the one I got the least hate for is the Buffalo Bills. I feel like Jets fans and Bills fans are not a whole heck of a lot different. With the blue collar nature. I mean, the biggest difference really between the two is they own their city. In Buffalo, they got nothing but the Bills, the Sabres, chicken wings, and freezing their ass off. That's it. With the Jets, it's a little bit harder. But I think the blue-collar, tough nature and not exactly known for winning, I think there's some commonalities there. But I actually did pick Kansas City to win the game. So I was rooting for my own self-interest in that respect. But, yeah, did well. Went 4-0 with my picks this week, so did much better than I did in the wild card round. And we'll see what winds up happening on Sunday. I haven't really made my mind up on who I think is going to win these games. I got to break them down in a little bit more depth, but we will get there. Yeah, I just wanted a great game, and we absolutely got that. We absolutely got that. Harlan Abraham contributing. Tony Deuce has coached every position on offense and defense with the exception of quarterback. Well, maybe he should coach quarterback. He'd probably be an upgrade over what we had last season. Gee whiz. All right. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about the quarterbacks who may be available to the Jets. Now, I'm going to be as realistic here with this as I can. All right. We're going to start with free agency, and because that comes first, and then we're going to go to the draft. So we're going to look at 4 backup quarterbacks the Jets can target in free agency. Now, I am leaving out certain quarterbacks. I'm leaving out Kirk Cousins. I'm leaving out Baker Mayfield, and I'm leaving out Russell Wilson because I think they're all going to be looking for starting jobs. And why would any of them come to the Jets just to back up Aaron Rodgers? To me, it would not make sense. And again, I'm not saying that these are all the best ideas, but I feel as though they would make sense considering the Jets situation. Oh, by the way, one other name I want nothing to do with is Jameis Winston. I've seen how he conducts himself in press conferences. To me, he comes across as very, very condescending. I don't think he has the best reputation in the locker room with the media, and he's very, very turnover prone as well. Capable quarterback, physically talented, yes, but I think he'd be a lightning rod in New York. I don't think it would work. So personally, I'm not interested in Jameis Winston to back up Aaron Rodgers. To me, it just doesn't make sense. And also Tyrod Taylor, he's 35 years old. If they do get him, fine. I wouldn't be overly excited about it because I think one of the things that I want, and I'm going to kind of explain why I'm putting these four quarterbacks on. I'm looking for quarterbacks who can maybe run a similar style of offense to Aaron Rodgers. I'm not so much looking for a quarterback who's super mobile, can create all these plays with his legs and that kind of stuff. Okay. So that's why I'm not looking at Tyrod Taylor. I'm not looking at Marcus Mariota. He'll be on his fourth team in 4 years because we've seen it took Nathaniel Hackett, about 3 months to adjust the offense to try to suit Zach Wilson. It takes the Jets months to make a decision, to change personnel, to change a play call, to change personnel usage. Okay, so I don't want them to be in a situation if Rodgers has to miss a game or two where they try to plug that square peg into the round hole. Harlan says I froze. I don't think. Okay, if I froze, sorry about that. But yeah, internet looks good, and I can see myself on the screen. I didn't think I froze, but okay. Hopefully everything is good now. All right, we'll get into my names in just a moment, but Johnny, I wanted to look at his comment. All right, for your draft, keep Blaga for the first round. I think that's very realistic. Third round wants to go Zintner. Fourth round, Malachi Corley, the Yak God. Fifth round, Sam Hartman, and for a backup veteran, you want to go with Tyrod Taylor. Okay, I don't hate these ideas. Sam Hartman may or may not be on my list. I will say that, but I kind of like the idea of where we're going with this. Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm not feeling Tyrod Taylor for this particular. Hank G says all good. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to talk about the four quarterbacks that I would be looking at in free agency. And again, you can agree with me. You can disagree with me. It's all good. But I am actually looking at Sam Darnold as my number 4. Okay. A couple of reasons why. I think he is still very moldable. I think he still has some untapped ability. He's still young, 27 years old. Still somebody who can step in for a couple of games if need be. Okay, I think that we know that he can make throws. He can win a game if needed. We've seen him go head-to-head with good quarterbacks in the past. Now, the cons I have with this is you might be wondering, PTJD, what am I talking about? That is post-traumatic Jets disorder. Yes, we as Jets fans, and Johnny is proving my point like a down to a T. I know it's not exactly a very exciting thing to bring back what we've already had. And, but if Joe Douglas were to do this, would he be admitting a mistake on the organizational level when the Jets went with Zach Wilson instead of keeping Sam Darnold and, trading that number 2 pick and acquiring more draft capital? There have been different reports that, well, was it the owner that made him do it? that they wanted to draft Zach Wilson and reset the quarterback clock. Look, we may never know for sure, but I think if you look at some of the options that are out there, I mean, come on, do we want to bring in Joe Flacco? Do we want to bring in, Blaine Gabbert, Easton Stick, Josh Dobbs? Are you telling me you would want to have those guys over Sam Darnold at this point? A 27-year-old Sam Darnold, who, by the way, was just in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan and kind of, got a chance to spend a year in that offense. That had to make him a better player. So, again, David, this is my number 4. Yes, your ex is your ex for a reason. Absolutely true. Though we did bring back Lavernius Coles. That worked out. Darrelle Revis, a little bit more borderline. See, we're a little bit mixed in here. Yes. I will say what's pretty fun is that people either are very much in favor of this or very much against this. That makes it pretty fun. Yeah, Matt's in favor of it. David is against it. Yeah. Hank G, yep, that's a good one. Demario Davis was an ex. Yep, we brought him back and let him go again, and that did not turn out to be the best decision in the history of this franchise. Wild Wave wants a playmaker at 10. Neighbors, Odunze, or Bowers. I got a good feeling that one of them will be there if that's where the Jets want to go. But again, At number 10, do you feel more confident in offensive tackle or in wide receiver? But I will say, if Alt and Fashanu are both gone, and then these next couple of guys like Latham and Fuaga, guys like that, are a little bit, who's Amarius Mims? They're more considered right tackles, and right now I feel like we have a right tackle potentially in Elijah Vera Tucker. So I think it's pretty important that the Jets leave free agency with a good tackle, good left tackle, at least a reliable one. Sort of like this new version of Dwayne Brown. I'm not saying Dwayne Brown by any stretch, but somebody you could plug in, that Kelvin Beachum type guy, if it came to that. I love Mike Onwenu. I love Tyron Smith. I talked about some of these guys before. Would definitely love one of those tackles. I don't want the Jets going into the draft needing a left tackle. That is what I'm really saying here. Okay. I don't want to have to get a left tackle in the draft. A wide receiver, yes, I can live with that, but I don't want to need a tackle with our first round pick because we may not get who we want. Johnny Jimenez bringing up the great Dimitri Patterson. Dimitri Patterson owes us royalties for us keeping his name out there. Gosh, dang. Papa Yeti, I like the Sam, but he didn't really care for the mole, did you now? Hey, I never cared for the mole. I never had a problem with the mole on Cindy Crawford's face. I'm just saying. Matt C, we could talk about Dick Hammer. We could talk about Mono. Don't forget the Mono situation, right? But yeah, I would be open to Sam Darnold coming back if that's something he's willing to do. My number 3 would be Gardner Minshew. Now, there are a lot of big Gardner fans out there. People love Minshew. Almost got to the Colts to the playoffs, had a very, very good 2023 season, stepping in for Anthony Richardson. And he's made his way around the league, and he always seems to perform pretty well for multiple teams. And let's see, his stats this season, 13 starts with the Colts. He had 3,305 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 84.6 passer rating. So one of the biggest issues with Minshew, and this is what scares me about him, he's very turnover prone, whether it's fumbling the football or throwing interceptions. I mean, 9 in 13 games is a pretty high number. That's a little bit scary. Okay. And you know what? Things went so well for him in Indianapolis. He may want to just stay there with Shane Steichen, and he may feel he has a future for a little while backing up Anthony Richardson, in case that shoulder continues to have problems. So while I am not the biggest Minshew fan in the world, I do recognize that he is a good backup. And if you have to play him for a couple of games, he could make it happen. All right, so that is number 4. Number 3, now I'm going down to my number 2, and my number 2 is Ryan Tannehill. This is, I think, another one of those very, very polarizing quarterbacks. But I think considering this situation, it makes sense. He's very familiar with the Tennessee offensive coaching staff. Obviously, Carter and Downing are there. And the Titans may very well, or the Jets may bring in 2 more Titans coaches in Tony Dews and I think Luke Getsy, the quarterback coach as well, who has worked with Aaron Rodgers before. So the marriage would make sense. And Tannehill has a lot of big game experience, was in the playoffs 3 straight seasons. That does mean something. The cons, though, he is coming off his worst season. He was not good this year at all. A 35 QBR in 8 games, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he turns 36 years old in July. So if it's going to be Tannehill, it's got to be 1 year, maybe, I don't know, $6-7 million if you want to put a performance bonus in there or something like that. You could do that. But I can't give Tannehill more than 1 year. So it makes sense as your break the glass quarterback, but hopefully it doesn't come to him being on the field, because in Tennessee, now granted behind a very bad offensive line and not a lot of receivers to work with, it didn't go very well. All right, so Tannehill is my number 2. Yeah, Wild Wave, you echoed exactly what I said. Yep, and that's a reason why Tennessee picking ahead of us is going to be a problem, because they are almost certain to pick either Fashanu or Alt at the number 7 spot. And indeed, somebody in the chat is already predicting it. My number 1 is Jacoby Brissett for a number of reasons. Number 1, he and Rex Hogan are familiar with each other. They were both in Indianapolis. And, he has very good stats over his career. So Brissett has been in the league since 2016. And in that time, he has thrown for 51 touchdowns 23 interceptions, 10,574 yards, and his passer rating is 85.3. That's pretty good. And at 31 years old, that's a good age, not too old, but he's got he's got some miles on his shoes. I guess my biggest issue with Brissett is he hasn't played all that much. The last time that Jacoby Brissett played in double-digit games was 2019, actually. So he's actually done it once since 2019. Excuse me. And I think there were 2 other seasons where he never even stepped on the field at all. So even though he's 31, I guess it's kind of a younger 31, but he's only seen so much action. So that's probably my one issue with that. And I do think the Jets are going to go after him quite aggressively, seeing that Brissett typically plays very well against them. So those are my top 4 as far as backup quarterbacks go. As far as free agents, because we know they will need a legitimate backup quarterback as their number 2. This is not a situation where you can draft a quarterback and plug him in as your number 2. It just wouldn't make sense. And I think we're all pretty confident Zach Wilson will not be on this team in a couple of months. So to me, I would be happy with one of these 4 guys. You can make an argument for a Tyrod Taylor if you want to. I'm just a little questionable about him fitting into this particular offense. All right, well, let's get out of free agency. There we go. And we're going to go into the draft in a moment, and we're going to talk about a couple of quarterbacks. I've got 5 to talk to you about, and I rated them 5-1. Now, this quarterback class, to me, is very, very strange. It's been very up and down. The ratings, if you look at a year ago, 2 years ago, the rankings have really gone up and down with these guys. It's not like Peyton Manning was the number 1 quarterback for 3 years, or Andrew Luck was the number 1 quarterback since he stepped onto campus at Stanford. Okay, so what I'm going to be looking at over these next couple of slides are quarterbacks that can be available, say, late in the 3rd round. If the Jets choose to trade up from the beginning of the 4th, they could get somebody in the maybe at the very back of the 3rd round. So there's certain quarterbacks I'm leaving out because I just don't think they're going to be available. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix. I think Bo Nix will not be available as well. And if you watch my offseason predictions, we did that on the show a couple weeks ago. My prediction was the Jets would draft Cam Ward as their developmental quarterback. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but Cam Ward is going to be going to Miami. The Hurricanes, that is, not the Dolphins. Yeah, so he is actually transferring. The news came out late last week that he will be continuing his college career, and he is transferring to the University of Miami. So Cam Ward will be available in next year's draft. All right, so that's not even going to be an option. So let's talk a little bit about the draft. So I'm going to add the draft, not that one, mid-round quarterbacks. There we go. 4. Yeah, I think we have 4. Actually, I think I added 5 on. I think I added 1 more. You know what? It's actually 5. I threw one in a very, very last minute here. So even though it's 4, I'm actually going to give you a little bonus. I'm going to give you 5 quarterbacks the Jets can target, going from 5-1, who I think will be available with that spot. One is little Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I don't believe that the Jets are actually going to take a chance on him for a number of reasons. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give you a profile on the quarterback. We're going to talk about some strengths, talk about some weaknesses, and give you kind of an overall summary of who this guy is. I watched some film earlier today on each one of them, and I'm just going to give you my observations. So TT here is 5'11", 208 pounds, about to turn 24 years old. He really is a mini Tua at 5'11". Played 3 years at Maryland after transferring from Alabama. Now, he actually applied for a 6th year in college based off his amount of playing time he had last year, okay? But that was denied. So he tried to get another year in college, but the NCAA denied it. So now he's going to enter the NFL draft. Papa Yeti, is Donovan McNabb back out of retirement and stepping back into a time machine? If he is, then I would say yes as far as Syracuse quarterbacks go. Again, I was a Syracuse basketball fan, not so much a Syracuse football fan. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I don't watch. Haven't watched much Syracuse football ever. Not in a little while. Not since the Donovan McNabb days or the Marvin Graves days back in the '90s. All right, but some of the strengths of TT, very strong with a stocky build. Think that Russell Wilson type physique. That's what he's going to bring here. So because he's stocky and he's got a little size on him for being 5'11", he could take a hit, he could take a beating, and he can get up from it. He's also a very good runner. Rips right through arm tackles. Very good quarterback. He's got very good athleticism. Okay, so he is a threat to leave the pocket and gain positive yardage at any given time. And then I like his release. He had a very good quick, just that quick release. He gets rid of the ball very quickly. And I think this is one of the things with Zach Wilson that drove us the most crazy. He would just take forever to get rid of the ball. It was like 3 to 4 seconds from snap to throw every single time. I mean, to make it fair, the defense should have been counting 5 Mississippis before they began rushing him. But Talia is going to give you a very good vision, elusiveness. He has that deceptive speed and power, and he's really going to be better with the short passes, with quick slants and throws like that. All right, so those are the positives. The negatives are 5'11", obviously, is not an ideal height. His deep passes are going to fall short at times. He doesn't have great accuracy with a lot of his deep passing. Okay, and then another thing I wanted to mention as well is the mechanics. He has kind of, let's call it, an inconsistent stride. All right, so his stride could be a little bit long, it could be a little bit short, and that's what really adds to his accuracy problems with the deep ball. Okay, so, and also that his decision making after the snap can be a little shaky, and sometimes when he's under heavy pressure, he can make, let's be honest, some pretty bonehead decisions. I also saw he was a little bit prone to throwing off his back foot as well. I hate seeing quarterbacks constantly throwing off their back foot. It constantly leads to turnovers. And to me, it just shows somebody who doesn't have a lot of poise. And I want poise and I want accuracy from my quarterback. So that worries me. So to summarize him, I call him a very good physical prospect, great mobility, a good enough arm, good accuracy in the short to intermediate routes. And he's a good guy. He's considered very, very professional. But the fact that he has these random mental lapses and can make dumb decisions under pressure, that is what worries me about Tua's little brother. Okay, so that is my number 5. That is Talia Tagovailoa from Maryland. My number 4 is going to be Joe Milton from the University of Tennessee. Now, Joe Milton is 6'5", 235 pounds. Big boy here. He's about to turn 24 years old. And I want to point this out. I'm going to point this out for all of the quarterbacks doing this. He's going to the Senior Bowl. So Jeff Ulbrich is going to get a very good look at Joe Milton, and he is a very, very intriguing prospect. So if I had to give Joe Milton to you in let's look in baseball terms for the baseball fans out there. Think about a relief pitcher who throws a fastball 100+ miles an hour, but doesn't really have a secondary pitch. Okay, no breaking ball, no changeup, no nothing. The wild stallion that needs to be tamed. That is Joe Milton in a nutshell. Some scouts love him. Some scouts want nothing to do with him. He probably has the best passing arm out of any quarterback in this entire class, including the first rounders. That's how good this kid's arm is. It is a cannon, but he really excels to targeting the short to intermediate areas of the defense. Has very good accuracy in that range, and he could run pretty well too. He had 7 rushing touchdowns this past year. So what are the issues with Joe Milton? Well, he also, similar to Tagovailoa, has questionable lower body mechanics. He's prone to the overstride, which leads to inaccuracy. Okay, and the long ball, sometimes that long ball accuracy can be a little bit off. He can definitely get the ball out there, but sometimes he can overthrow it. Okay, and the other thing is he has had issues maintaining his starting job. He's dealt with an injury or two here and there, but he goes into these long stretches where he just has trouble completing passes, and he's actually gotten benched a time or two. Milton has also been a transfer as well. Okay, so what I'm looking at here with Joe Milton, there are definite flashes of brilliance from this kid. The question is he going to be good enough to put all of it together in the NFL? Now, if Milton was 20 or 21 years old, you know what? I'd be more interested in him, to be honest with you. But he's 24 years old, so can he change? I think Joe Milton will be the type of quarterback who is going to need to go to a good team with a good offensive coaching staff and learn under a good quarterback. The Jets have Aaron Rodgers, but we know who their offensive coaches are, and they're not exactly renowned for their development of quarterbacks. But I think in the draft, he's going to be worth a fifth-round pick or a sixth-round pick. For his sake, though, I think I would want to see him go to a Kansas City, to a San Francisco, a place where you have like a pretty good pocket passer with a good offensive coach and stuff. I'll tell you what, if Pete Carroll was still in Seattle, I think that'd be a perfect fit for him. I think he played some ball in the Pacific Northwest. I think if Pete Carroll was still there, that would be a great fit for Joe Milton. But as far as the Jets go, I don't know if he's quite the guy that we're going to be looking for because he's really going to need mechanical coaching. Okay, number 3, this particular player was asked about, and now you've got him. Number 3 for me is Spencer Rattler from the University of South Carolina, from the Gamecocks. All right, so Rattler, 6'1", 217 pounds. He's 23 years old, and he also will be going to the Senior Bowl. So another quarterback for Jeff Ulbrich to take a look at. So Rattler is a fifth-year prospect, but somehow he's still a little bit raw, and his journey is really, really interesting. So when he was coming out of high school, he was considered the top quarterback in the nation, maybe the top prospect in the entire college pool, really. But then after his rookie season, he was benched. He wound up transferring. And I'll tell you what, though, his arm has been drawing comparisons to a guy you might have heard of named Patrick Mahomes. Okay, it just has great strength, great accuracy. He can really, really throw the ball. But again, he has some lapses with his on-field decision-making, and this is where scouts are a little bit unsure about what kind of quarterback he's going to be in the National Football League. Now, his best season was back in 2020. Okay, so he played for Oklahoma, and as the Oklahoma starting quarterback, check out these numbers. 11 games, 3,031 passing yards. That's pretty good. 28 touchdowns, and his QB rating was 118.4. That got him named National Freshman of the Year by CBS Sports. So why is he slipping all the way down now? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But his strengths are he has a very, very strong arm, great accuracy on short and medium throws. The more I watched him, I was pretty impressed with his accuracy. He has a good feel for pressure, too. He knows when the pocket is kind of collapsing around him, and he knows when he has to take a step or when he has to get rid of the ball. So he has pretty good football smarts. Again, very fast release as well, smooth throwing motion. He doesn't, he's listed as 6'1", but I got to tell you, when I was watching him, he looked like he was 5'11". He looked a little bit shorter than 6'1", in my mind. To me, he just seemed a little bit smaller. Most of the time, he could throw outside the pocket pretty well. Also, his speed, when I watched him run, he could run pretty decently too. He didn't have blinding speed like Daniel Jones or anybody like that, but he could get where he needed to go. And with the quarterbacks being timed running the 40, he placed at about the 60 to 65 percentile. So he doesn't have blinding speed, but he can make plays with his legs when he has to. But he most certainly is a arm-first quarterback, a pass-first quarterback when at all possible. Now, the issues I have with him, I didn't really love his mechanics. There were too many times I saw him throwing off his back foot. Even though he was completing passes in a lot of those cases, he's not necessarily going to be doing that in the NFL. Okay. So to me, when I see those happy feet, like we saw Sam Darnold have his first year with the Jets or his second year with the Jets, to me, that's a quarterback who's just not confident, who just isn't sure of what he's seeing. And I think that leads to inconsistent decision-making on where to go with the ball. So Rattler, he has some shaky mechanics. Hopefully they can be corrected for his sake. But there definitely is talent there. He has very good physical tools. I think he could be a star in the NFL. But I think when your best season was 3 years ago, you got to be a little worried about that. And the other thing, when I watched the video, it was Xavier Legette, or Leggett, I guess I think it's Leggett, who is probably going to be a first-round pick at wide receiver. He made so many plays for Rattler, like a lot of contested catches and things like that. I think Leggett really helped Rattler look even better than he is. So I think that's just one thing to keep in mind. But hey, Spencer Rattler to Garrett Wilson, we could have a Rattler-Garrett combination one day. But yeah, I liked what I saw from Rattler, but I can't say I was in love with everything that I saw. So Spencer Rattler is my number 3 quarterback. Yeah. By the way, if you guys have any opinions or any questions, I would be more than happy to entertain your curiosity. Quick swig of water for the working man and woman. Add a little citrus to the water tonight. Tastes good. All right, let's go on to number 2. We're going to go to Jordan Travis from Florida State. I like what I see from this kid. 6'1", 212 pounds. Matt C is committed to Rattler at this point. Hey, if he's available there for the Jets to draft in the 4th round, hey, I'd be good with it. Yep, because I think he's a quarterback that could use a little bit of development. I just hope the Jets have the right coaches to help develop him. Because Aaron Rodgers got to be focused on winning games. He's not a full-time coach here yet. So, yeah. So I'm interested in Rattler. I really like Jordan Davis, though. I was kind of back and forth on Travis or Rattler as my number 2, but this is where I'm going. I'm going with Travis as my number 2. So he was in his 6th collegiate season at Florida State before he had an injury that derailed the Seminoles' undefeated season. But when he played, Florida State could not be stopped. He was making plays inside and outside the pocket. Of course, he had Keon Coleman to throw the ball to, and man, what a stud Keon Coleman. The more I watched Keon Coleman, the more I fell in love with what he could do. Not that I think the Jets are going to draft him unless they trade down a couple of spots, but boy, I really like what I saw from Keon Coleman on film. No doubt about it. So with the strengths, Travis has this ability to create something from nothing. And I really like that from a quarterback because Mahomes does it. Josh Allen does it. Lamar Jackson does it. I like a quarterback who can see the field and create something for himself. And Travis really does this with mobility that is super, super elite. He has athleticism and decision-making that are, in my mind, like top-notch. And I think he's going to be in that top-tier quarterback. Wild Wave with an interesting question. You like Lazard 2.0? I'm not a Gabe Davis fan. I've never heard Keon Coleman compared to Alan Lazard, but I liked what I saw from Coleman in the clips that I saw. If he has some drop issues, hey, that's a little bit of a different story. But how many penalties did Keon Coleman take this year? Did he take like 5 or 6? But no, as a pass catcher, I liked what I saw from Coleman quite a bit. But again, right now we're focusing on the quarterback. Hey, we'll dig into wide receiver in due time. We'll handle that in the next couple of weeks. We are definitely going to go there in the near future. But Travis can run very well. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry. He has found the end zone many, many times. He knows when to use his legs and he knows when to throw. That's another thing that I really like. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there who run when they should be, who are throwing when they should be, and they should be running. Zach Wilson. But Jordan Travis seems to have a good head on his shoulders for knowing when to do that. Great ability to improvise, plays with composure, has great vision, and he didn't even play behind that good of an offensive line. That was one thing with Zach. He had a wall. He had the freaking Berlin Wall in front of him, at BYU. He had a long time to throw every pass. He didn't have that when he came to the Jets. But Travis has done that with an offensive line that's been okay. It's been okay, but you don't hear a whole lot about Florida State offensive line prospects from the draft, not that much. And he was able to succeed with that. So he's got that calm demeanor. And another thing that I saw, I think with Travis, as much as I saw this with anybody I watched, he was able to make very good throws to tight windows. He was able to make those throws in tight coverage and put the ball where it needed to go. That is a big deal because with a lot of these quarterback highlights, you have to think about if there's not a defender within a couple of yards of the receiver, well, how hard was it to throw the pass, right? But I saw a lot of situations where Travis could fit it in that tight window, and that's something that I really like. Now, I feel like I've mentioned this a lot here as far as weaknesses go, but again, inconsistencies in lower half mechanics. It seems like that is one of the big defining issues between the top-rated quarterbacks and the guys who are on that next level, which is what we're talking about today. So sometimes he's missed a few open targets because, again, when your lower half mechanics are not all working together, when they're not in synergy, that's one of the biggest things that leads to accuracy issues. And the other thing with Travis that's a bit of a concern is his anticipation. He has this tendency sometimes to wait for targets to become open before he throws the ball. And sometimes you wonder how well he is recognizing coverages. All right, so that is something to keep in mind as well. We're getting a question from Harlan. Is he coming off an injury? Yeah, it was a left ankle injury. I don't know if they said it was the. I know he had to have surgery. I believe it was. I'm pretty sure it was an ankle injury. Just checking it out right here for you. Yeah, surgery was successful. Well, most of them are, unless you're like Carl Lawson or somebody like that. Yeah. So it seems like it was an ankle. He did have surgery. I haven't heard anything about a timetable when he's going to be ready. But I mean, if he isn't ready for a couple of months, then not a huge deal. Hopefully, but he got injured November 20. It was like November 20th or 21st is when he got hurt. So he's been out for about 2 months already. Yeah, I'm not seeing like the exact injury, just that it was an ankle injury and that it required surgery. So it's been a little bit hush hush there. So that's what we're looking at there. But at least it's not a back, it's not a shoulder or something like that. It's something he could definitely come back from, and it shouldn't really affect his long-term future as a potential NFL quarterback. So I think right now Travis is kind of being viewed as a third-round pick. And I think that is about it. When I watch him and I watch his improvisational ability, his ability to run, the fact that he could throw in tight windows, I think he's kind of what we wanted Zach Wilson to be with the Jets. I think he is the better version of Zach except he's smarter in between the ears. But then again, I guess that's the only place you can be smarter is in between the ears, right? Okay, so Jordan Travis is my number 2 quarterback as far as drafting a backup in the upcoming draft. And on to my number 1. I know some guys have this particular quarterback at number 1. I know O'Leary does. I think 1 or 2 other guys do as well. But for me, it is Michael Pratt from Tulane University. Michael Pratt, 6'3", 220 pounds. Harlan Abraham saying number 13 on the Jets is retired. I think if he wants to be on the team, he could switch. I think they'll be able to make that work. Yes, number 13 is retired. Very true. Yep. So with Pratt, he is 22 years old, so a little bit younger than some of these other guys. He will be going to the Senior Bowl as well. That's going to be one of the prospects to watch. Is Michael Pratt. Now he kind of profiles as a very good prototypical pocket passer. There isn't much he does, I would say, like exceptionally well, like top of the level, but there's nothing that he doesn't do poorly. He's very, very respected as a leader on the team and has a very high floor. Okay, so the more I read up on him, the more I saw that he has great football IQ, respected by his teammates and his coaches. Very, very intelligent guy. He's very quick to identify depth. He's very good at identifying coverages. And when it comes to throwing the ball down the field, he has just a very natural arm strength, very, very accurate pass. It's a fluid motion. The ball just he throws him kind of down low, but the ball just seems to pop kind of off his arm. All right. And the results have been there. He's thrown for 21 touchdowns in each of his last 3 seasons. He can throw the deep ball decently well. He's not going to throw it as well as, say, Joe Milton will, but he can definitely throw the ball 50, 60 yards if he needs to. And another thing that I like about Pratt, he has a tendency to make plays when the pocket breaks down. And if you're going to succeed as a quarterback in the NFL nowadays, that is a very important trait. Okay. And he could run a little bit too. He's got a pretty decent burst. Yeah, again, not a speed demon, but he could create chunk plays if the defenders aren't expecting it. And he has good pocket presence. He's not going to melt in the face of pressure. He is willing to stand up to the defense, knowing that the hit is coming, and he is going to deliver that pass where it needs to go. All right, so I really like that. Now, the downside of his aggression is that he does tend to put the football in harm's way. Okay, so if you look at the Pro Football Focus numbers, if you want to do that, he had a turnover-worthy play of 3.9%. All right, so almost 1 out of 25 plays he had were turnover-worthy. That ranked 66th in college football. So this is where he needs that development in the NFL. Okay, not as good passing outside the numbers, really. Doesn't have the strongest arm in the draft, but it's a good enough arm. And the other thing is playing with Tulane and the I think it was the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. He didn't play against the strongest competition either. Okay, so if I was to summarize him, if I had to give you a player comp on him, think Josh McCown. That sort of good all around quarterback. May never be a superstar, but can be a good, reliable backup in the NFL for 10 to 15 years. Okay, so he just has that very solid mechanical framework, and that's something that I think is very good for him to have if he was to be drafted by the Jets. I don't want I don't want these coaches having to mess with a kid's mechanics. I don't know if I trust them to do that. Okay, but he's very disciplined. He can deliver accurate passes. He reads the field very well, spots mismatches very well too. He's that leader that we know that the Jets love to draft team captains. They love to draft leaders, guys who are respected. We know they want to build up that culture, and to me, Michael Pratt fits very, very well in that system. So personally, that is who I hope the Jets will draft as their backup quarterback. I definitely expect them to come away with one. But those are my top five. Yeah, I did not include Sam Hartman on this one. To me, I had him right outside. He probably would have been my number 6. Sam Hartman from Notre Dame. Just I don't know, just wasn't feeling as much. I'm just not sure how well he's going to translate to the NFL. But I know we had some questions. Somebody had mentioned Hartman as well. Papa Yeti, the latest One Jets drive has Lazard looking like a legitimate asset. Gotta love editing. Yeah. Is that the one that just came out that's like 2 hours and 15 minutes long? The one that's super long? Yeah, I definitely didn't have the time to watch that one. Yeah, it's they can make the Jets offensive line look like the freaking Washington Hogs, like the Redskins from the early 80s with all those guys back in the day. Yeah, somehow I don't see yeah, I will say this though. I think Alan Lazard will, he'll be on the team next year, but I'll give him one more year with Aaron Rodgers. Then let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Johnny likes Sam Hartman. Yeah, 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 absolutely a fair person to like. I just had him a little bit outside, a little bit outside. I feel like he's a good college quarterback. Don't know how good he's going to be at adapting to the pros. So that's just kind of where I am on there. I think what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to break down more positions. We'll talk about wide receiver. We'll talk about defensive tackle. Of course, we'll talk about offensive line. We might even break down offensive line and interior offensive line separately. I think I might do that on separate weeks. We might even talk. I think we might even talk running backs. Talked about some free agent guys that I've wanted. I've done that. I think we did that last week or so. But I think we'll talk about some different positions every week as free agency approaches. So I think that's something that we'll keep doing. Yeah, because I kind of like doing the research because it's this is about the way that I'll be honest with you guys. I never used to like study prospects until like a year or two ago when we started doing all this content. And then I figured, wow, if I'm going to talk with guys like Dom and and all these types of guys with Tigo and Buffalo, all the guys, it's like I better up my game. I better learn to like watch some of these prospects and know what the hell I'm talking about. Because that was never my thing. I never went to a school that had college football, so it was never my thing. Now the only time I would really watch it is to watch for a specific player. Because I don't really have a college team. My pro teams give me enough misery in my life. Why would I add college to it? Oh gosh. Let's see, what time is it? It's 10:58. All right, we'll do trivia in just a moment here. Oh, let's take a quick look here at the chat. How are we doing on the likes? I think we've got 11 likes right now. Guys, if we want to do the wheel tonight, I need 4. Oh, we're up to 12. I need 3 more likes. It's going to take 15 likes to spin the wheel tonight. If you'd like to spin the wheel, create a new top 10 list tonight, then you can do it. Let your vote be seen. Let your voice be heard, guys. Let's see you do it. All right. Papa Yeti, replace accurate with strong and that Zachy poo. I hope they get some asset for him, and I hope it's more than packaging a 7 and Zach and getting a 6. It better be a little bit more than that. A little bit more than that. Like package Zach in a 7 and get like a high 5th round pick. That would be more like it. Hey, we're going to get our 7th round picks. we're going to get 2 or 3 7th-round picks at the very end of the draft. With the this will be the first time in a long time, right, that the Jets are getting draft picks, compensatory draft picks. But as it stands right now, it looks like they're going to get 3 7th-round picks, it looks like. So that must mean jackpot, right? So, yep, but right now it's looking like 3 7th-round picks. That's not going to be announced for another I don't think that's going to be announced until late February, early March, somewhere in that time frame. But it will be coming. All right, tell you what, guys. Wild Wave's trying to encourage the group. 3 more likes for the wheel. Well, you still got a few minutes to do that. But in the meantime, before we may or may not spin the wheel, it is time for something that we do every single week here on the Wednesday Night Live show. It started on Green Bean's channel. It went over to Nick's channel when I would guest with him. And it has spread far and wide right here to my very own channel. Let us enter Jets Trivia. It is New York Sports WickerMedia versus the Chat. The most anticipated matchup every single week in sports and entertainment on YouTube. Okay, guys, so we're going to start moving on. Last week we did a Jets playoff question. We're going to start doing some Jets draft trivia questions over the next little while. Those always seem to go over pretty dang well. So you all know the rules. I think we've got 5 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to ask you the question, and I'll be watching the comments. So put your answers in the comments. And let's see how we do tonight. Last week we got you with with Lamont Jordan. Yeah, Lamont Jordan was like that one answer that stumped everybody for like 10, 12 minutes. I finally had to give it up. This one I think is going to be a little bit more gettable. I think we got a good chance at this one. So let's add the trivia question to the chat. Name the 2 former Jets draft picks from the University of Florida that played in the NFL in 2023. Your time is underway. So 2 Jets picks that were taken from Florida, University of Florida, from the Gators, that played in the NFL this season. Who are they? Grandizer says Al Toon. Yes, Al Toon played this season. Yes. He was pretty good. He worked well as a backup safety. Al Toon did. Yeah, worked out pretty well, but did his best work on special teams, I felt. I should, you know what? I'll add the I'll add the music. I just got to remember to add the copyright thing into the description or I get flagged. There. Description and fast enough and I got flagged. So I got to make sure that doesn't happen again. David D says Tim Tebow, right school, wrong year. By the way, who's everybody rooting for on Sunday? The NFC Championship. Here's getting your thoughts on that. Jamal Adams went to LSU. So it's not Jamal Adams. Okay, we're about 1:30 down. We don't have any correct answers yet. Hank G, you're not far off with that answer. You're not far off. Wild Wave's getting very close. Hank G's thinking Ravens versus 49ers? Yeah, most likely. I haven't really broken the games down yet. Gotta look at a little bit more, but I'd be good with that Super Bowl. I mean, personally, I'd like to see Detroit win. It'd be good to see the Lions win a Super Bowl. I want to see somebody new. But it's amazing. The Niners actually haven't won a Super Bowl since '94. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has. Hank G, yep, that is a correct answer. Marcus May, drafted from the University of Florida, played this season with the Saints, and played pretty dang well, for that matter. Played on a pretty good New Orleans defense. Wasn't enough to get him to the playoffs, though. I mean, that was one thing that really surprised me. I thought New Orleans was a shoo-in to win that division. And it did not happen that way. Grandizer, are the players in question on teams that are still in the playoffs? No, they don't have to be in the playoffs, just that they played during the 2023 season. They don't necessarily have to be on the Final Four teams. Johnny Jimenez is Trey Dean. Man, that hurts. No, it's not Trey Dean. Because also Trey Dean was undrafted. But yeah, the fact that he left the Jets for Kansas City, hey, they offered him a contract. He felt he had more opportunities, and he left. It sucks. It truly, truly sucks. What are you going to do? Papa Yeti, Charlie Ward and Bobby Sura. Wait, that was Florida State. No. When we say it, we got to do it Nick style. It's Charlie Ward. Wild Wave, offense or defense? I'm not telling you yet. I'm not telling you yet who it is. I will say this guy, you know the name, not a superstar. Marcus May, I will say, is the easier answer. Yeah, we still got almost about 4 minutes in. I'm going to wait a little bit before I start to give some clues out. But yeah, I will. 1 minute. I had some people leave all of a sudden. I guess they're a little frustrated by the trivia. It's okay. And after that, we'll check the likes. Hopefully, we've got our 15. And then we can spin the wheel. I really hope we get to it. And G says, I think Terrell Basham or Boogie Basham. No. Johnny Jimenez says, I think you mean Brian Gould. I don't think he played after he left the Jets. He just sort of disappeared. Yeah, just off the face of the earth. He was just, all of a sudden, he was gone. No one pool. All right, this player plays offense. All right, 10 seconds. Hey, G says Foley Fadakasu. No, one Foley. Yeah, Foley didn't go to Florida. Yep, gotta delete the timer. There we go. Adam, is there a former Jet that is on one of the last playoff teams that you were rooting for once by Jets out of mind? It's a good question. I'm trying to think who the former Jets were. I don't think I'm rooting for Dalvin Cook. I'm not rooting for McCall Hardman. There's certain guys I would root for. I mean, when Chad Pennington went to Miami, believe it or not, I wanted him to do well. Because Chad's always my guy. I can't think of any Niners or Lions. Are there any former Jets on the Niners or Lions roster? Yep, that's the correct answer. Yep, you got it. Is indeed LaMichael Pirine. So, well done. There we go, Ed. There we go. All right, we just rang the bell for you. So, good job, Johnny, to finish that off. So, yep, you all got it. Took a little bit after the 5 minutes, but yes, it was Marcus May and LaMichael Pirine. Those are the correct answers. Yeah, but I'll go back to Grandizer's question real quick. Was there I'll check the I can't imagine there's any ex-Jets on the 49ers roster. I'd be very surprised. That seems like a very homegrown roster almost entirely, doesn't it? Outside of what, Trent Williams and those types of guys, it really feels like it's that kind of a team. Oh, Sam Darnold, of course. Yeah, but not that he's going to be playing or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I feel good for Darnold. Yeah, I got no ill will against him. Logan Ryan's on the Niners. I didn't even know he was there. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the Niners. So, and then with the Detroit Lions roster, let's check that out too. Team roster, Detroit Lions. Pirine with Denver, they like him. And he was with Kansas City also. Yeah. Okay, so who's on the Lions depth chart? Not the depth chart. I want the roster. So I can just scroll right down. Yeah, I can think of Cook on Baltimore, Darnold on San Francisco. Yeah, I thought of them pretty quickly. Okay, going through the Lions roster. Does Teddy Bridgewater count? I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, technically, who's going to be retiring after this season, was a Jet. He just never played an actual game for them. Only in the preseason did he play for them. So, if you want to count Teddy Bridgewater as an ex-Jet this weekend, you could do that if you want to. Yeah. Working my way through down to the O's, down to the R's. Oh my God, that's right. Bam Knight's with the Lions. Yep, Grandizer, I just saw it too. Yeah. Yep. So Bam's with there. He's on IR. Yeah. So I mean, there aren't too many guys that give me the feels one way or another, but it's kind of hard for me to get, to root for Dalvin Cook. I can't really root for him. Yeah. The great Nick Shine is here. Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Hope you had a good show earlier on. All right, let's make one more check with the likes. Let's see how we're doing. Don't know if we're quite there. All right. Yeah, I wish Knight could have stayed. I wonder what would have happened if the Jets had opted for Bam Knight instead of Michael Carter. If anything would have worked out differently, I don't know. Don't know if it would have. It's not that Bam would have had a ton of playing time anyway, but who knows how things would have been different. I wish they could have been for him. I really do. Uh, uh, what's with the likes? I don't know, man. But we got to make them. We got to make them earn it. The trivia is a right. The wheel is a privilege. So it's just kind of the thing, just to help the show out, and I get to reward them for their support. That's kind of the whole deal. Oh, there was no show tonight. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, because I know usually they're going on at 9 o'clock. So okay, no problem. I think we're at 12. Let's see, are we at 12 right now? Yeah, I think we're still at 12 at this point. Yep. So, Nick, we talked about quarterbacks tonight, talked about some of the free agent options and also some of the mid-round draft options. And, hey, we had some people agree with my takes, some people disagree, and I thought it was a pretty good discussion. Yeah, I thought it was a fun time. Gotcha. I'll add 2. Okay. You know what? Yeah, we'll do that. Add the other like, and we'll spin the wheel. We'll get started. All right. Close. I'm just going to load it up. Yeah, I think we'll do it tonight. Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. All right, so we'll do the 100. I think we'll do the 100 players tonight. We didn't do the wheel last week, so I think this week we'll go. All right, we're good. Yep, I think we're good to go. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to spin the wheel. For anybody who may be brand new or hasn't watched this before, I have created a wheel of 100 random Jets. It used to have Dimitri Patterson on it. That's how deep we go. So we're going to spin the wheel 10 times, and we are going to assign a number. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting news here. We're getting requests. We're going to hold off on the wheel for just a moment. We're going to wait for just a minute here because we may have somebody joining us in just a few minutes. So I may not be spinning the wheel by myself on the air. All right. I like it. All right. So let's send the link out. There we go. Okay. Hey, maybe we could do a thing like in the future. If somebody donates like a certain amount, then you could come on with me. I'll send you the link, and you could come on with me, and maybe we could do the wheel together. We could do it on the air. Just an idea. Maybe we could do that in the future. That might be a fun way to do it. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm going to create the list down here. Yeah, we'll do the 100 players tonight. We'll just do one. We'll do one round, and we'll see what we wind up getting. We've had some pretty good luck with the wheel as of late. We've had some good lists that turned out pretty dang well. So let's see we've almost been doing too well. When you get like a good streak, you expect it to pretty much just flame out. Johnny, how about those Knicks? Yeah, that's what we opened the show with. We talked a little New York Knicks basketball. I got to be careful or Nick's going to get really pissed off. But yeah, definitely an important win in Brooklyn. Very good rally in the fourth quarter. I still think this team needs one more playmaker, somebody who can provide some instant offense, some instant scoring off the bench. Because you don't want to wear out Randall and Brunson going into the playoffs. I don't want them to keep having to play 40 minutes a night every single night. But hey, tomorrow night's game against Denver, that's going to be fun. The defending league champions coming to town. That's going to be one hell of a game. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, let's see. Studio, just going to clean a few things out of the studio here. Yep, we do have a special guest who's going to be here any moment. Any moment. So, asking me to send it through Twitter. Yep, and just letting you know that I did send the link, so you should have it any moment. So as soon as I see you here, I will edge on in, and we will get going. Yeah, like I said, Wild Wave, I'm very glad I fell asleep for the game last night. I watched the first two periods, figured it was good. Next thing I knew, woke up, it was 2:30 in the morning. But yes, I am one frustrated New York Rangers fan to say the least. I've been thinking about going to Columbus next February. I've never really spent time in Columbus, Ohio, and going over there for a game. What am I doing? But I've got some really good food spots picked out. I found this old German restaurant that does like all these different types of sausage. They even do like for $20. I think it's an all-you-can-eat sausage buffet, like the knockwurst, the bratwurst, the spicy one, which they call the Bahama Mama, and that includes like German potato salad and applesauce. It's like all you can eat for $20. I mean, to me, that sounds pretty dang good. So I might have to check. I think it's called the Schmitz Sausage House. They got the German polka music and all that good stuff. But I got a few food places. I got a few really good food places in mind. Another one of my favorite places is Bakersfield Taco, and that is in a couple of cities in the Midwest, like Columbus, Cincy, Nashville, Indianapolis, a couple other towns. But they have great tacos, great margaritas, cool music. They even play like old black and white movies inside, but they play like a great blend of country blues, a little bit of Tejano Mexican music. It's fun. It's fun. No, Johnny, I haven't been to Beer Garden yet. I got to go to Ale Works this weekend for the Bitter Valentine beer. It's almost Valentine's Day, so I got to drink my pissed off Cupid beer. Yeah, I love a little Bitter Valentine, but I'll get to Beer Garden maybe when the weather gets a little bit nicer. Remind me, we'll go. All right, guys. Well, it's always fun doing the wheel here on this show, but it's never quite as much fun as when I get to do it with one of my best friends. Unfortunately, he's not here, but instead, let me enter the stage the great Nick Shine. How you doing, Nick?
I needed that laugh today. Thank you, buddy.
You doing all right? I know it's been kind of a rough couple of days, but yeah.
No, horrible. A very good friend of mine and a very good Jet fan passed away today. So it's been a rough couple of days. Jeremy's traveling.
Okay.
And I just
that's right. He's heading to North Carolina, isn't he?
Yeah. And I just wasn't up for doing a show by myself.
Makes sense.
Rest in peace, Pete. One of the biggest Wayne Corbett fan I ever met. He was put in hospice. A couple of organs failed on him. And his girlfriend was texting me from North Carolina saying we have his Corbett jersey laid out with him. So he's me. He on Saturday I caught word that it was downhill, and everyone was like in the room there with him, and he woke up, opened up his eyes real quick. It's like, I'm not dead yet, fuckers, and then closed his eyes and like went back down. So he'll be greatly missed, man. So Jets fans out there, say a prayer for my buddy Pete's family, his two sons. It's
two kids too,
but I need it right now.
Oh gosh, that
makes it's got two boys.
Oh boy. So, well, sounds like they had a good dad, and he left them a good legacy. So.
Yeah. So I was sitting here, and I'm gonna cheer up the room. I'm on a fucking tear on automated blackjack. I cashed out 700, 600, 500, 400, and I just cashed out 328 now. And I looked at the time. I'm like, Oh shit! It's Wednesday. I popped up on your thing.
We
I heard
didn't mean to break your hot streak here, dude.
no. I was up to like 480, and then I got down to 378. So I cash out 328, and I leave 50 in. So I have 50
Okay.
in still.
Knowing when to get out. Good call. Green
Let it
Geyser
cool
asked
off.
how old was he?
Let it cool off, and then I'll get back on later. He's 48. He's 48.
Yeah,
He's from
I knew he
Bridgewood,
wasn't that
Jersey.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I better up the volume
And,
here a little bit so I can hear you better. Okay.
thank you,
That's better.
everybody. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, my voice is down. You hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I just had
Check,
up the
check,
volume a little
check,
bit,
check.
but yeah, but I could hear you just fine.
Lower or louder? Lower or louder? Lower or louder? Lower or louder?
I'm going a little louder. Yeah, that should be
Me?
better.
Am I better?
Oh yeah, that's
All right.
good.
The
Yeah,
knob underneath, there's an adjustable knob, and it I guess through moving it and unhooking it, it got low. So
okay.
let's
Hey, you
rock,
know what?
man. I need a good wheel. We need a good wheel tonight. We gotta. Oh shit! The concussion boy is back.
I knew it'd get you to smile, so I
Yeah.
figured I'd support the helmet here.
Yeah. This will be fun. I need this today. Thank you, everybody. You guys are the
All
best
right.
as always,
So
man. I love all you guys.
yeah, did you want to
Let's
do
rock, man.
Did you want to do 100 players tonight? Is that the wheel you'd like to
Fuck
do?
yeah. Let's do it,
Okay.
man. Let's get
It's your
Wayne
choice.
Corbett in there for Pete. Let's get Wayne Corbett. That'll be Pete
Wayne
saying
Corbett's
hello.
our
We get Wayne
automatic number one.
Wayne
We
Corbett
should
comes
land
in.
on Wayne Corbett. All right. So
Let's rock, man. Let's do this.
here we go. I've got to present, and I'm going to share my screen with all you crazy, wonderful people. And we'll hit allow. There we go. And I'm going to maximize the wheel, and there we go. All right, we should be up and running. Just making sure it's up on my end. Yep, I think we're good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
We're going big tonight. That's my call. I think we get more big names than we've ever gotten. I think we get like a Mawai, a Corbett, a Mo Lewis. Like I think we get big name after big name.
I mean, we've had one or two where we hit it we did really well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we've been getting a lot of good ones. So,
The
it's
last
good,
one we did, we freaking nailed too. Like we made the list as if we knew the names and like they came out like in order.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah,
well.
Johnny, it's going to be, we're going to go, we'll go 1 through 10. It's always good to go 1 through 10 with this list. It's pretty much the right amount.
I have to ask, did you do trivia yet, or is that after this?
Yeah, we did trivia already. We did pretty much like right at 11 p.m.
Can you tell me what the question was before we get into this?
Yeah, the question was name the 2 former Jets draft picks who played at Florida, drafted from the University of Florida, that played in the NFL in 2023.
P. Ryan and Zanika?
P. Ryan is correct. You got the harder
Marcus
one,
May.
actually.
Marcus May.
There you go, Marcus May. Very good. Yep. Uh-oh. Did I freeze?
Yes.
Okay.
No. That's like, can you hear me on the phone? No. How do you answer it if you don't hear? You're good. I see you. You're fine. Say something. Oh, now he froze. Oh boy. All right. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Did his internet drop out? Guys in the chat, can you let me know? Can you hear me? All right, so I'll talk here. I don't have the controls for his show. So it's Virginia internet. Johnny knows what I'm talking about. I know, Hank. Hank, I am fine. Guys, I can't add your comments to the screen, so I'll just address them. He may have had he's probably just rebooting. So this actually worked out. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was bizarre.
I was just killing
a
time. I was like,
internet glitch.
Virginia internet. Johnny knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's like I'm back on the old laptop or whatever.
Good thing I came in. Otherwise, I would have just been dead air. People would have bounced out.
It's true, and it's a good thing I didn't look like this. All right, let's get started like right now before we have any more issues. All right, so let's hit allow.
When
go
we're
to the
done,
wheel.
You got to
Max it
call
out.
me so everybody can see that pop up on the phone and see the joy that I get every time you call me. All right, let's rock this. I'm going on
Okay.
record as saying the best list we've ever had. The best list of names we've ever had. It might not come out the right way.
All right. Here we go. All
Let's
right. So
rock.
here we go. We're going to do 10 spins. We're going to get our 10 New York Jets players, and we're going to rank them 1 through 10. So let's see who we get. And chat, remember, we need your votes. We need your rankings. So let your voice be heard. All right. Here we go, guys. Before we do spin number 1, Nick, who are we going to land on?
Kevin Moy.
John Hall, because why not?
Fuck, let's rock. Let's
Spin
get
number 1.
wild.
Here we go.
I like it. Let's get nuts right from the first spin. Richard Todd.
Ooh, Richard Todd. Oh, we're starting with a tough one already.
Oh, man.
The quarterback
You
from Alabama.
gotta weigh
who
the good with the
succeeded
bad,
Joe
right?
Namath.
You got to
What?
weigh the good with the bad. We don't have many quarterbacks that have gotten us to an AFC championship. And as awful as this AFC championship performance was, he still did get there. So
There's some
you
good things with
gotta,
Walter. Yeah.
I mean, who's done it? Namath, Todd, Vinny,
Sanchez.
Sanchez. Who else? I don't think anyone else.
Namath, Todd, Vinny Sanchez. I think that's it. Yep.
So, I mean, when you're looking, I'm thinking the middle of the pack, like a 5, 6, 7, like somewhere.
Yeah, the chat. Wow, the chat's pretty supportive of Richard Todd. They've got him at a 4. We have
Okay.
several votes for 4.
Oh yeah, 4, 5, 6 would be middle.
Yeah, I would have gone pretty much right smack in the middle here. 5 or I would go 5 or 6. I'd have been okay either one. I think 4 might be a little generous, but for me, I'd be cool with a 5. Huh.
I'm fine anywhere in the middle. Any of those 3, I think, is suffice.
Okay. All right, chat. We'll give you another minute or so to make your votes. We had some college basketball upsets. If anybody's interested, Alabama beats number 8 Auburn, and Northwestern beats number 10 Illinois. Wow,
Do you know?
not a good night to be a top 10 team.
Do you know who is not losing?
The Nets.
The North Carolina Tar Heels.
Oh, that's right.
They're up to number 3 in the nation.
Yeah.
They're on fire, man. They are playing so well.
Yeah, I think NC State lost to Virginia in overtime. So, yeah, things are not looking good for the Pack.
Are you a Pack fan?
I kind of changed to – I was a Syracuse fan growing up, but I kind of switched over to North Carolina State. I went there for a short amount of time. And I figured kind of as a Met and Jet fan, it kind of made sense to root for NC State as well, to be like the team that's kind of under the radar, that kind of gets stomped on by everybody and doesn't really get a whole lot of respect. And yeah, plus as a fellow Italian, the whole Jim Valvano thing. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't have the same level of emotion that I do with my pro teams, but yeah, I root for them to win, and yeah, but it's not going to make or break my day.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 6 with Todd.
You go 6. I'm thinking around 5.
His numbers aren't great.
Yeah.
I mean, and he did shit the bed. Like he shit the bed like Fitzpatrick shit the bed in the Buffalo game.
I would say this, guys. I can't go 4 because I'm confident with 9 spins we will get at least 4 Jets who are better careers than Richard Todd.
The more I'm weighing it, the less I think of him. He doesn't have great all-time stats. No. I mean, I'll go 6. I'll say 6. We'll go see what the chat says.
Okay, Wild Wave is willing to adjust his pick from 4 to 5. I'm pretty much at a 5 also. I think we're going to go 5 with Richard Todd. All right, I think we're going to lock that in. All right, so I'm writing that down. So Richard Todd will be our number 5. So that's our first spin. Okay, so spin number 1 is down. I'm going to say for spin number 2, we're going to get Jericho Cotchery.
Chad Morton.
I'm sorry?
Chad Morton.
Chad Morton? Okay, here we go. Spin number 2. Here we go. And it's coming to a stop on, oh, God, no. Okay, it was close. Brian Winters. Brian Stormy Winters. I feel like an offensive lineman who gets ragged on a bit by the fan base, but in retrospect he was a decent workman-like offensive lineman, but it's kind of like just about every team has a Brian Winters, you know?
You know my Brian Winters story.
I do. Yeah, I remember you telling me the Brian Winters story. Yes.
Everyone's got a Brian Winters, but not everyone is an Instagram stalker like Brian Winters is. For those that don't know, one night my ex-girlfriend and I were sitting in the basement watching TV. She's like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's offensive lineman for the Jets. Why?" And she's like, "He just liked 18 pictures on my Instagram in a row." And I'm like, let's message him. Let's see where this goes.
Well, I guess for a change, it wasn't him doing the blocking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coincidence, he got cut or traded like weeks later. So that's what you get for
close to the
messing.
shines, you got to go.
That's what you get for messing with my lady.
All right. So let's see. We've got a couple of 8s. Yeah. Several people saying 8. Harlan Abraham's going for a 7. Yeah, I think that's about the right place. I think right around a 7 is about right. 7, maybe 8. I could go either way there.
I think 8.
Thinking 8?
He wasn't there long. He wasn't very good.
I feel like he was there for about, what, 5 years? Did he get a second contract? For like a little bit?
But he didn't play the whole 5 years. Like right? He didn't play as a rookie.
Yeah, it feels like he was there a little bit longer than he was. Yeah, it felt like we just couldn't get rid of him for a long time, you know? It's just like he was, Brian Winters is still there. It was, yeah, he's got kind of a weird one. Yeah, I'm willing to go 8. I can live with that. All right. Yeah, if we want to go 8, I'll make it an 8. That's fine. All right. Brian Winters.
He's still in the league? Cardinals?
Is he still? I think he was last year. I don't know if he was this year.
That's his picture. 9 years in the league? No, 2021 was his last year.
Okay. Yeah, because I got to watch
7 years with the Jets.
Yeah, I thought he was there for a decent amount of time.
But all the horrible years, 2013 to 2019.
So pretty much all of this is Brian Winters' fault, is what we're saying.
79 starts, 89 games.
That's about all you could say. I mean, it's not like we're getting pancake blocks.
No, it wasn't quality. It was just guys like Vlad Ducosta didn't work out. So,
yeah. Who else do we have there? Like James Carpenter was there, Bruno Giacomini, just Ring of Honor inductees to be sure one day.
Yeah, I'll go 8. He wasn't very overwhelming.
Go 8? Okay.
That's me.
All right, I'm good with I'm good with 8. I think the chat is good with 8 also. Okay, let's go to spin number 3. I'm gonna say we've had some middle of the road ones. I think it's time to just get I think it's time for a little bit of pain right about now. I'm gonna say Vernon Golston.
I'll go Hackenberg. I'll ride that train with you.
Okay. Well, choo choo, get on board, and we are coming to a stop on. Oh my God. Christian Hackenberg, the one and only.
Is that the first time anyone's picked?
That is the first time that has ever happened. We have to come up with something. If you get it right, then
you get to place the guy automatically.
Place him wherever you
get
want.
To place him. I'm gonna go at 1. I'm gonna go 1.
Okay, you got it. Christian Hackenberg is our 1.
Drop him at 10. Drop him at 10. He never even played a snap, so you can't be. I would have Dimitri Patterson ahead of him.
Hey, they both have something in common. Neither ever played.
Hank makes a great point. Hank makes a great point. Does he even count? He never played in the regular season. We said the same thing about Dimitri on my show.
Yes, he counts because he's still a draft pick, and he's a player that brings out emotion. He brings out a reaction. I mean, look at Hank's reaction, Johnny's reaction. I mean, come on. I mean, that's all you need to know. I mean, so absolutely. I try to put players on here who we have feelings for one way or another, who were here for a bit. So that's kind of the idea. But I think that's a great idea. If we guess the player, we put them wherever we want. Good idea.
Emptiness is a feeling. You're feeling empty.
A many splendid thing. All right. So Christian Hackenberg, we're so sorry, but you're going to be number 10. Only because we don't have a spot for a number 11. All right. We're going to go to spin number 4. I'm going to predict Bilal Powell.
I'm going Eric Decker.
Like that.
If I hit 2 in a row, it's now
my
channel. If I hit 2 in a row, it's now my channel. All right, we're good.
Corey Davis. It hurts more because Chad announced the pick of Hackenberg. Yes, it does. He also announced Jay Samaro. That hurts too. It hurts a lot.
Oh yeah.
Corey Davis. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Very another polarizing Jet. Definitely showed some capabilities, but did get hurt at times. Had terrible quarterback play to work with. Still bothers me to this day that he left when he left. Um,
And we
Story in
never
the
found
NFL may
out
not be
why,
over yet.
right? Aren't you bothered more that we don't even know why? Not that we need to know if it's something private,
Yeah,
family, personal. That's fine. I
yeah,
respect it, but it's like, damn, I wish we knew.
yeah. It's true. And Corey, to me, this is the type of player that is pretty much right in that middle tier. I would put him above Brian Winters, but as
One,
far I
I
don't know
would
if I
put him
could.
right above Winters. His Jets numbers in
Yeah,
2 seasons are 66 catches, 1,028 yards. His Jet numbers are putrid.
yeah, and that's mostly well. I think there's two reasons: one, the quarterback play, and two, the injuries.
Yeah. So as a Jet, the numbers are a failure. I can't put him at 9 though because
No, I can't put him at
there's too
9.
many back. I'll put him at 7. I
No,
would
he,
have
he
loved.
had some good moments. He had some touchdowns. He made some good
Oh
plays
yeah,
with not a lot.
he had a
And
play
he
or
was our
two, but
number one receiver for a while. He shouldn't have been, but for a while he was.
yeah.
So
I I I'd say 7.
I
That's
would.
me.
I think I'm all right with 7 as well. Yeah, Johnny goes with 6. Hank was 7. Yeah, a couple of people are saying 9. I got to be honest with you. I'm confident we're going to get somebody that we're going to rank lower than that. I think 7 is a fair place for Corey Davis. I really do.
Oh, my
All
stomach.
right, so that's kind of like the average of what we saw. So I think that's pretty good. Okay, quick recap. So far, the spots we've taken: number 5, Richard Todd; number 7, Corey Davis; number 8, Brian Winters; number 10, Christian Hackenberg. Yuck. Okay,
So my
and I was a big
prediction
Corey
on
Davis defender
Hackenberg,
for a long time, also, and you know that. But I mean,
my
yeah,
prediction on Hackenberg was good, but my prediction on big name after big name coming out is off so far.
not working.
Not hitting.
Not yet, but you know what? You still guessed the name on the wheel right, and I think that makes up for it.
Yeah. But it does help that I am doing well in blackjack again. Well, split aces and get 21-21. Let's
Hey,
go.
may the cards ever be in your favor, my friend.
Thank you, pal.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I think it's time for us to get some good names. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say Curtis Martin.
Eric Smith.
Let's spin that wheel. Spin number 5. Oh my God, we're gonna get it! Oh, so close. We were one spot away from Wayne Corbett. That would have been perfect. And we're
No.
even worse. We're one spot away from John Hall. And in the middle, we get Chris Herndon, and this is why Corey Davis has no right being in the number 9 spot.
That's like the roulette wheel with 20 and 17 being like one spot away.
That's exactly what we were. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is there Chris Herndon, very good rookie season, had one or two very nice catches, and then was
Against
out
Green
of the
Bay, wasn't
league.
it? Didn't he have
What?
the one-handed catch against Green Bay? Was that the Green Bay game?
I'm not sure if it was Green Bay. It might have been. It was an NFC team, I want to say, like a Green Bay or a Seattle, one of those teams. It may have been Green Bay, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I mean, we basically traded him to Minnesota, and I believe that pick turned into, I want to say, it was Michael Clemens. And people could say different things about Clemens. Some like him, some don't like him, but definitely an upgrade trading
Hope
Herndon
he
to
plays.
basically draft Clemens. But yeah, this to me, I think the chat pretty much all agrees. This is an easy number 9 pick.
Yeah.
Man, this is, I think, unquestionably the worst first half we have ever had on the wheel.
We're Jets fans. We're used to bad first halves. Now
This
this is where it'll kick up.
Yeah, it's like Robert Saleh was spinning the first half of the wheel, right? Because we got just such slow starts.
Nice.
What? Too soon? Okay.
Never. It's never too soon.
All right. Let's see here. You pick first this time.
16. Nice. They busted. Sam Darnold.
I'm gonna
Future
pick.
past and future Jet Sam Darnold.
There you go. Hey, if earlier on my show I may have talked about Sam Darnold a little bit, just
Yeah.
saying, I did.
Huh.
I'm going to say somebody that you mentioned on your show about a week and a half ago for being on the top 10 Jets list that nobody else did. I'm going to say Larry Grantham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I
I'm
am.
picking Larry Grantham. Why not? And it's going to be
Oh
Eric.
man, I was a couple spins off.
Yeah, you were.
I
Y-
uh I'm going big right here. I'm sorry. I have an 11 against an ace. I'm gonna double down. It's a $40 hand. I'm gonna double it down. Let's hit a 10.
You're doing so. You're on the wheel while doing blackjack at the same. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, did not win.
Focus.
Go big
Focus.
or go home. I did good enough today. That was the end. I was at $80. I did a $40 hand with a double down.
All right. Just
Eric
stay
Decker.
focused, brother. Watching out. I feel
Eric
like we
Decker.
need
How
to
many
look his
years?
stats up here.
I got you. How many years is it,
Yeah,
Jet?
I want to say he had 3-4 years. I think that was about. I
4?
think that was about it.
He
I
had
don't
a
think it was
year
that long.
without Marshall. He had a year with Marshall. He had 2 years
Right.
with Marshall, right?
So 4 years. Yeah, because that first
3.
year he was like our top receiver import, and you know
3.
what? 3 years.
Yeah. And then he went to
Okay.
Tennessee.
Then he went to Tennessee. Okay.
So
Yeah,
his
I
numbers
mean,
as a Jet are
yeah,
163 catches, 2,183 yards, 19 touchdowns,
pretty dang
1,000
good for
yard
three
season.
years. Yeah.
The third year, he only played 3 games.
Mm. Johnny
So
Jimenez said a lot of people are saying 3. We got a 4. Johnny says a 3 because of the catch against the Patriots.
what
Yeah,
numbers
I
are
think
open?
what we have
What numbers
one,
are open?
2, 3, 4, and 6.
I'll put him at 4 just in case we get a complete bomb to put at 6, but his numbers aren't great.
Yeah, the numbers are solid. They're a good 1A number 2 type wide receiver. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, then he got hurt, and yeah, that whole season, that 2016 season, everything just went wrong.
Didn't he play
Did
with Marius Thomas in New York? You know, he played with him in Denver, but I think Decker was gone by the time Demarius played here.
I think you're right.
But they were in Denver together, I believe.
So we got right now the 3s are in the lead. We've got 3 3s. We've got 2 4s counting Nick's vote. All right, guys. Hey, if you want to make your voice heard, put down where you want to rank Eric Decker. We've got spots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 open. To me, I'm very easy. To me, he's like a 3.5. You know what I mean? He's right in that 3 to 4 range.
I mean, he's right there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like there's a number
I
of
don't want to
Jets
put
that
him
we
at
could.
6. I don't want to put him below
No,
Todd.
no, definitely not.
Even though Todd has 20,000 yards and over 100 touchdown passes as a Jet, I want to leave the 6 open in case we get an absolute nuke.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a nuke, but there's no way we're getting 4 good Jets in a row. That is not about to happen.
Thou shalt not challenge the wheel of destiny.
Looks like the 4s are winning out. Wild Wave changed to 4. David D says a 4 as well. I'm good with the 4. I think that's a fair place to put him because it was a very short time, but he had some good moments while he was here. So yeah, I'm cool with it.
Nice.
All right. So we've got 6 spins down. We've got number 4 Eric Decker, number 5 Richard Todd, number 7 Corey Davis, number 8 Brian Winters, number 9 Chris Herndon, and number 10 Christian Hackenberg. So we've got spots 1, 2, 3, and 6 left. I'm going to say we get a bomb. I'm going to say it's Wayne Hunter.
Tebow.
Tim Tebow?
Yes, sir.
Who oh my gosh. By the way, I'm going to try to tell the story as best I can. So, did you know that after Tim Tebow got cut by the Patriots about 2014, 13, 14 it would have been? So, there was a chance he actually had a meeting with WWE that he was actually going to have a match at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans against the Big Show.
I saw that today on an Instagram post.
Yeah, so there was a meeting. They couldn't make it happen, but I think Nick Khan was there in the meeting, and that was the first time Vince McMahon and Triple H met Nick Khan. Next thing you know, Nick Khan's working there, and now they make this whole. He's been basically running the company the business side of it, and now they make that unbelievably big deal with Netflix. By the way, if anybody wants to get my thoughts on that, about 2 hours ago, I posted a
Wait,
video, my
Nick
thoughts
Khan?
on Monday Night Raw going to Netflix in 2025.
Nick Khan, who was AEW, is now with
That's
WWE?
that's Tony Khan. It's a different Khan.
No relation at all?
I don't believe they're related. I don't think they are.
And then who's the dad who owns the Jaguars?
I can't remember his name.
Okay, so it's neither one of those two. Okay.
Yeah. Nick. Yeah, I'm positive that they're not related. Otherwise, everybody would talk about uncle, brother, and this kind of stuff.
I'll be
But
right
yeah.
back. Scotty's
Oh, Hank, you already watched it. Thanks, Hank. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go to spin number. Yeah, Shad Khan. That's the dad's name. Thank you, David D. Thank
Jeremy Curley.
you. Jeremy Curley. Okay. Zach Wilson. Let's spin the wheel. This is looking good. It is John Riggins. Well, yeah, he's come up on the wheel before, and we had some interesting conversations about him. Definitely a good running back, had a lot of touchdowns, but fumbled quite a bit and was only a Jet for about 4 years. So to me, as I look at this, I can't make him my number one because, again, we're not looking at what he did with the Redskins. We're looking at what he did with the Jets during that brief period of time. Now, we've got spots 1, 2, 3, and 6 left. Riggins was with the Jets in a really, really dark time. But he was like about the best player on a bad team, too. What do you think, Nick?
Who is it?
John Riggins.
Now, we've had him before, but let me pull his numbers because he was much better as a Redskin than he was a Jet.
Right. I got a feeling this is going to be a 3 or a 6.
As a Jet, he was basically a fullback. 3,880 yards, 25 touchdowns. And then as a Redskin, he went off with 7,500 and almost 80 touchdowns.
So with the Jets, it was a little bit under 1,000 yards a season.
The year they went to the Super Bowl, he had 24 and 14 touchdowns in back-to-back years. But as a Jet, very, very... I know he's basically a fullback. I'll go 3. Compared to the list, he's better than Decker. Put it that way, right? If Decker's 4, John Riggins is a better Jet.
That's the thing, yeah. Like I can put him above. I would be okay putting them above Decker and Todd. Now let's see. Hank G's got him at a 3. While then we got a couple of guys rating him as the 6. Here's my question, guys. Do you feel confident with our last 3 spins we will get 3 Jets better than Eric Decker, Richard Todd? Do you think we can do it? I don't know.
Yeah, but you got to just straight up put Riggins against Decker. And Decker with 166 catches and 20 touchdowns. Riggins is clearly better, right? Like if you're going head-to-head there.
Is. He did have the extra
yards rushing.
Year.
Almost 4,000 yards rushing as a fullback. We used him as a fullback, and he got 38-80.
What were his fumble numbers, though?
That's 6, 2, 6, 3, 5, 8, 10, 22.
22 fumbles in 4 years.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was 3rd. He made a Pro Bowl in 75 as a Jet. You got to put him ahead of Decker, right? Like
Pro Bowl's good. Yeah, it's a mixed legacy, but I think you could make the argument kind of either way, kind of depending on which way you're looking.
Oh, and he had over 1,000 yards receiving. He had over 1,200 yards receiving as a Jet fullback. So that's total, he had 5,042 yards in 5 years, 31 touchdowns.
I mean, over 1,000 yards a year is pretty good.
As a fullback, he wasn't even a fullback.
Yeah, back when the fullback meant something. Oh boy, I feel okay. I feel okay making him a 3. It's like a reluctant 3, but considering what we have on this list, that's why. I mean, if we had a better list, I would knock him down a couple of pegs. But I can make an argument he was better than Eric Decker and better than Richard Todd. So, all right, Yeah, I don't know if the chat's gonna love this, but we're gonna put John Riggins in the 3 spot. So hope everybody's okay with that one. Yeah, I think I think that's gonna be our best bet here. Okay,
This is
so
the
that's
wheel of mediocrity tonight.
yes. Yeah. Let's stick with some mediocrity here. I see. Quincy Enunwa. He would
Chris
fit right
Ivory.
in.
Chris
Chris,
Ivory.
I love Chris Ivory. Hey, we got Chris Ivory. That may be my number 2. I'm just saying.
It might have to be.
I agree. Wouldn't it be great if we had like 9? The number 1 was open, and we got John Hall. Wouldn't it be perfect? Oh boy! All right, spin number 8. Here we go. And it comes to a stop on. Oh, jeez. Oh,
Did you call him?
Wilson.
Oh, Kyle Wilson. What numbers are left? 1, 2, and what? 6?
1, 2, and 6. I would.
6.
I rate him as barely better than Christian Hackenberg. Holy shit!
I don't think we could have picked 10 worse guys.
This is horrific. Yeah, we're gonna have to make him our 6, no doubt about it. But if I was starting this over, we will be doing a spin later on and try to remove him. But I would rate him. I don't know if I would rate him above Chris Herndon, to be honest with you. He'd be my 8 or my 9. I couldn't stand Kyle Wilson. He was like it's like balls the passes we thrown at him, it hit him in the feet. I mean, he was a decent tackler, yes, but he was like allergic to an interception.
That seems to be our thing.
And I can't forget Victor Cruz, the Victor Cruz game that this franchise has not recovered from all these years later. Kyle Wilson and Eric Smith. Wild Wave says Rex Ryan was a great drafter. That would be Tannenbaum. He would be the general manager in my mind. But yeah, I was not happy with Kyle. Okay, I'll stop before I go on a complete Kyle Wilson rant.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Kyle Wilson. And I think we were 1 spot away from Joe Namath.
Yeah, we've never gotten Joe. We've gotten Revis a couple times. We haven't gotten Joe. We got
We've
Curtis.
never gotten Klecko.
We got Gastineau one time.
We got Gastineau. I thought I had Klecko on the wheel, but if I don't, I should add him in. Yeah. I mean, I could always rotate players in and out. I mean, no reason I can't do that. All right. Kyle Wilson is undoubtedly going to be our number 6. All right. We got 2 spins left. We got number 1 and number 2. All right. I'm going to say.
Don't spin yet.
Yeah.
I don't think you have Klecko on here. That's why my head's rotating. I was trying to read the wheel.
Yeah. I don't know. Somehow I think I left Klecko out because I didn't want to have too many great players or too many bad players. So I wanted to keep it kind of balanced because you can't have like all number 1s. But
Hank's coming in with a ruling.
I will put Klecko on at some point for sure.
Hank's coming in with a ruling saying you had Namath on the show in the very early days.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yep, we have landed on Namath before. We did. I do remember. I still have some of the lists saved here on Post-it notes down here. So
I'll go Pat Leahy.
Pat Leahy? Okay. I'm gonna go. And all
we have is 1 and 2, huh?
1 and 2. This isn't gonna be ideal, but I'm gonna name somebody we have never landed on. Braxton Berrios. He's actually on this wheel. Here we go. I'm spin number 9. Yep. Shout out to Krista.
It's about that time. Spin number 9.
Oh my God, Chris Ivory.
I said him earlier. That's 3 people that I've gotten on the wheel so far.
That's unbelievable.
2. Like there's no debate.
Yeah. Chad, sorry, but the list is kind of writing itself tonight.
My God, if John Hall hits next, I'm hoping Quebec comes out. It would be a sign from my friend. But man, if John Hall finishes 1, we're gonna suck it, Tigo.
Which result would make you happier at number 1? John Hall or JoJo Townsell?
I mean, I get a joy just from hearing the name JoJo Townsell.
Hey, can we pull up the Chris Ivory stats?
I'm going, as much as I want Corbett, I'm going to go with Vlad Ducas.
Yeah, this has been so bad. I feel like it's going to be yeah, I think it's going to be lower level, but not bottom of the barrel here. I'm going to say Kelvin Beachum. It just a
Dude,
very broad,
how about this?
but
How about an elimination wheel? Where, like, as you do the list, boom, they come off the wheel. So 10 guys leave, 10 guys leave every time you do it. And then you reset and put people in. You know what I mean? Like an elimination wheel. Oh, look at that, man. I'm just throwing crazy ideas out here tonight.
I'd have to actually grasp that. So I mean, yeah, we could like do it in order. We can sort of figure it out. Okay, I'm not sure I'm quite grasping it, but I'm definitely open to it.
Like,
Okay.
you have your list, right? Like that you type
Yep.
everyone in.
Yep.
When those 10 guys were done with that wheel that night, bloop, you delete them. Next week, there's only 90 guys. Or the next time you do it, there's 90 guys on the wheel. So it's like
Okay.
elimination. So like you don't get repeats, and then we eventually get to everybody, and then you reset it.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a possibility. I mean, it might be easier for
I
me to
love
just
this.
create a new wheel of 90 than a wheel of 80. That actually might because I could copy it and then I can make a copy of the wheel that I have and then just delete 10 names out.
I love
So
this. I'm obsessed with this. I say it every time. This is the best. This is the best freaking thing in Jets content. Is this wheel? This was brilliant.
and it's like our underground secret that just like a few people know about.
I love it. I enjoy it.
Oh well. All right,
I,
let's see.
I'll tell you how much I enjoy it. I enjoy it more than trivia. You know how much I love trivia.
I do. I do.
I really enjoy this because it's rare. It's brilliant. Enough kissing your ass. Good job.
No, I know you wouldn't. No, and nor would I ask you to. So, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us in the chat. It's almost midnight as we're recording this, and all the other things you can be doing, and you're hanging out with us. That's freaking cool. So, thank you guys. Okay, let's do the last spin. We'll have to do one replacement spin after this, for the record, because this is the most godforsaken wheel I think I've ever seen. This is like
This is
jet
bad.
strapped wheel
I've
allegory.
nailed 3 of the names, but I totally
Oh,
threw the kibosh on it when I said this is gonna be the best wheel ever, and this is the worst.
you did. Oh, you totally
I would
did.
rather use my luck for blackjack and then mess the wheel up, though, to be honest with you.
If you had your luck on the wheel, I would say get the hell out of blackjack right now because you're not going to get it two places at the same time, most likely. Okay,
That's
I'm
what
going to
she said.
say this is going to be Eric Smith
That's
because
what
he's
that's
my
what she
most
said.
recent addition to the wheel. I'm going Eric Smith.
Vladdy-dotty.
Vlad Dukas? Okay. All right, guys, spin number 10. Here we go. Whoever we get is going to be our number one, and it's not a very high standard. It's going to be Jesus Christmas. Oh, you're going to have to forgive me, but I got to do something real quick. Just 1 second, guys.
Oh, there's multiple Knicks. This is awesome. I see. Oh, dude, it's infinite Knicks because they keep getting smaller. That's what she said.
Uh,
Joke?
wow. So that was horrible. Jabari Saniga. Guys, really, if I went through this, I'm going to give you this list again, okay? And if you're not drinking out there, start. I'm going to go 10 to 1. I'm going to go reverse order. And as I do this, think about the names I'm saying and think about who you would make your top 3 in order. Just think about it for a moment. Number 10, Christian Hackenberg. Number 9, Chris Herndon. Number 8, Brian Winters. Number 7, Corey Davis. Number 6, Kyle Wilson. Number 5, Richard Todd. Number 4, Eric Decker. Number 3, John Riggins. Number 2, Chris Ivory. And number 1, Jabari Green Bean still loves him, Zuniga. Wow. Wow. I think I would have to go like, I don't know, Riggins, Ivory, Decker as like the top 3 on this list. I mean, this is, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Is it even worth to try to even do a replacement spin to take one piece out? Because this wheel to me is just like between Kyle Wilson at number 6 and Zuniga at number 1, this wheel is busted. Man. Nick, you still with us?
I'm here.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm here. I'm just trying something on my phone. Whoa.
Yeah, guys. This may go down as the worst wheel we've ever had. I mean, I've actually got a couple of old lists here, and like with one of them, we had on one of these lists we had John Riggins as our number 5. Um, yeah, but we got quite a few guys that we hadn't got before, so we did land on some new names. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the. Let's go ahead and X out of here because to be honest, I don't even think I want to look at the wheel right now.
the wheel's
I
being
put the
put in
wheel in
timeout.
timeout. Gee whiz. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been blessed, so I'll pass it along. I've been on a good hot streak.
Appreciate it. Oh
We
boy,
are
oh
awful.
boy.
That shows how awful we are. That
This was bad. I almost feel like we should do a different wheel, just maybe do like a quick top 5, just to try to get a little bit of a redemption out of this. Just to do like a different one. I don't know, because I think this one's cursed tonight. So
this will be the worst wheel we've ever done. There we go. That'll
yeah,
be
I'm
great.
gonna have to like save this
I'll use
one.
my
I'm gonna have to
powers for
save.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep this one as like a reference. I'm gonna write this down. Worst, and you know what? I'm gonna put down January 25th, 2024. I am putting the date on it. All right, and I am
Yeah.
holding on to this list. I'm putting it right here on the wall.
Hold on.
I can always refer to it if I need to.
January 24th. It's after midnight now, but we completed the list on the 24th just to be accurate in the record keeping.
Oh yeah, I have to save that list. It's that bad. Thank you. This list feels like an insect draft. Hey, he did trade for Chris Ivory. Let's see. He signed Eric Decker. And you know, Hackenberg was McCagnon. Herndon was McCagnon. It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything on this list. It's more McCagnon than it is Insick, actually.
I jinxed it so bad. You should call that the Shine 10. I'm sorry, everybody. I'll do it.
Yeah, or come rain or come shine, something. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I'm just calling it worse, and I'm putting the date right on it, so I can always refer to it if I need to, right here on the wall. That's how bad this freaking list is. Oh my god,
horrible.
All right, you want to do a quick? Let's do a rapid. We haven't done the quarterbacks one in a while. I've only done the quarterback list once. Let's do a quick
Sure.
Quarterbacks. We'll just do 5. How about that? And then we'll call it a night.
All right.
You with it? Okay. All right. I've got that wheel ready to go. All right, guys. Let's do a quick share screen. Allow. There we go. Maximize the quarterback. There we go. All right. So obviously we don't have 100 quarterbacks on here because that would just be pure torture. But we are going to spin the wheel 5 times and rank these Jets quarterbacks from 5 to 1. So let's see where we land. So let's start with spin number 1. Should we even guess? I feel like it's too easy because there's only like 25 or 25 or so.
Josh McCown.
I think we should. What? I'm sorry.
Josh McCown.
Bubby Brister.
All right, let's rock. It's the Rick Meyer. 5.
He fits right into this list.
Fun Rick Meyer fact that if Parcells wasn't so stubborn, and went to Ray Lucas a week earlier, we would have won the Super Bowl with Ray Lucas that year.
Well, yeah, it'd be nice to have multiple weeks, but
nobody was beating that team.
A lot of things well, but his drafting was questionable, and what he ever saw in Rick Meyer, I will never understand. Wow,
that team when Lucas started went 6-2. He beat Marino twice. He beat Aikman. He beat Favre. I think he beat Bledsoe. He was.
That's right. They did beat the Cowboys. I'd forgotten that one.
Yeah. Yep. They were 6-2 down the end. If he would have made that change one freaking week earlier, that 9-7 would have been 10-6.
Hank G says 8. Hank, we're just doing a 5 on this one. If we
That's
did top 10, we get too many repeats. So 5 is
Hank.
good to me.
Hank knows it's a 1 to 5. He still wants an 8.
He still wants an 8. Yeah, I don't blame him. That's about right, too. Hey,
right.
hey, just to let you know, we do have the likes of Tim Boyle and Luke Falk on this wheel. So we could actually get worse.
You know what? I'm going to change and go to 4. I'm looking at the names on the wheel.
Yeah.
There's so many 5s. There's so many 5s that
I know.
I mean,
so bad.
Wild Wave.
So bad.
Wild Wave. We're doing a quick quarterback list.
The Jets quarterback wheel. We're just doing a top 5, and our first landing was Rick Mirer.
Don't say top 5. We're just doing a 5.
We're just ranking
we're doing
our
5. A5, not the 5. A5.
Yeah.
This is like a high 5 that misses, and you smack like a lady in the face by accident.
This is me like when I was drunk on Fireball and I was at my friend's house. We were doing the punching bag. I did this big warm up, swung, and I completely missed.
Nice. Hit grandma.
It literally put people on the floor laughing. When I say on the floor, I mean on the floor laughing so hard at me. And nice. It was worth it just for that reaction. Okay, here we go. Spin number 2. We're going to leave him at we'll leave Rick Mirer at 5.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
We got him again. Okay, we get to respin.
4 and 5.
4 and 5. That works. You know what? I'll make Rick Mirer. I'll make him like an honorary number 8.
Rodgers?
This is Aaron Rodgers. He's on the list now. It's
Jet.
I don't even know if he should be on here, but I had so few.
You got Hackenberg. Hackenberg never played. At least Rodgers played a couple plays.
Played 4 snaps, did not complete a pass. Not his fault, obviously. He was under constant pressure. He's given the fan base a level of excitement, but the problem is he brought a lot of crappy coaches and players with him. Should we just redo this? Maybe I should take. Wait. Maybe I should. I feel like maybe I should redo it. It's incomplete.
I'm gonna have a take here. We got to put Aaron Rodgers at 5. Here's why: Rick Mirer won 2 games. Rodgers couldn't even finish a drive.
Wild Wave saying redo. Yeah, this wheel is sad. I know it's a sad one. Hank G does make a good point. Aaron Rodgers is undefeated. The Jets have won every game that he has ever played for them. That is a very good point.
That's a nice little twist.
That is true. That is true. I can make him my number 4.
I thought we had Mirer at 4. Or did we Mirer 5?
I have Mirer at 5.
All right, then we'll put Rodgers. As a Jet, though, you can't.
He clearly galvanized the team.
Yeah, as a Jet, you got to put him at 4. He hasn't done anything as a Jet.
Yeah, I mean, I got to look at everything, including off the field, like the attention and all that kind of stuff. And
you have to look there because he did nothing. You have to look there because he did nothing on the field. You're like, he has a nice watch commercial on Instagram.
He ran onto the field with the American flag in a moment that nearly brought tears to all our eyes.
Get Dave's comment up. He's most inspirational.
Most inspirational. So by law of that, he's automatically top 2.
Very good, Dave.
Although I'm sure Mike White was also most inspirational last year.
Very good, Dave. And I'm afraid of how Dan Graziano will feel if he sees this.
Oh, my God. Oh, Colin Cowherd, all those Skip Bayless, all those pricks. Oh, boy. All right, guys. All right, we still have some folks left who are watching this train wreck.
All right, how can it get worse? All right, Quincy Carter.
I'll go. So, are we going Rodgers at 4? Is that what we're going to do?
As a Jet, you can't.
I can't go any. I don't think I could go anywhere else.
The wheel is about facts. The wheel is about definitives. The wheel is about knowns. The wheel is about what have you done as a Jet. Who cares what you did in Cheeseland? You've done nothing here.
Yeah, and the fact, but I look at what he's brought in. He's brought a lot of positive attention, but he's brought a lot of people who we did not want. Lazard,
Magic Johnson also brought a lot of attention to the AIDS community.
Hackett, on and on we go.
Did you hear me? Magic Johnson also brought a lot of attention to the AIDS community. Just because you bring attention to something doesn't mean that you did the right thing. He got hurt. What are we gonna do? He will hopefully be number one after next season, but right now you can't put him anywhere.
Okay, he's all right. He's number 4. Okay, here we go. Spin number 3.
And we're gonna want to change it instantly. Watch.
I know. Maybe not. Maybe Neil O'Donnell.
Neil.
All right. I mean, Parcells didn't like him. I mean, he was not a free agent signing that worked out, but he was very the epitome of mediocre in my mind.
Let's do the epitome of being a Jet quarterback. Rick Myers on this list, 2 wins. Aaron Rodgers is on this list, gets credit with a win as a starter, but we know he didn't win that game.
Yep.
Now you got Neil O'Donnell, who won 1, 3, and 9. 11 games in 3 years. Clearly, Neil O'Donnell needs to be at number 1.
Wait, what? Wait, 1, 3, and 9?
We went 1 and 15. We went 3 and 13, and then he went 9 and 7 and missed the playoff.
That's 13 wins.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean,
Massive.
and Parcells did not really give O'Donnell a chance to win that game in Detroit to get to the playoffs. That's when he started. He had like freaking Leon Johnson throwing like a halfback option pass that got intercepted.
Great
in
name.
That game.
Great name.
Yeah,
Leon Johnson's got to get added to the wheel.
What?
Leon Johnson's got to get added to the wheel. Yeah, that's a good name.
I think I might make a spot for him.
Jason
right
Fabini? Is Fabini on there?
Is who on there?
Fabini.
Fabini?
Jason Fabini. He was the left tackle for the 98 team. He was like 5 years as left tackle.
Right.
Is he on the 100 wheel?
Oh, is he on the 100 list? I don't think he is.
Yeah, I was just throwing out another name to add.
Okay. Okay. I thought you meant this. What pass did he throw that I forgot about?
I'm gonna say Neil O'Donnell goes to 2 because he won 13 games. He did have a winning season at 9 and 7, and there is a massive amount of shit left on this list. There aren't many guys that won 14 games. There might be 14 guys. We could probably think of 14 guys who didn't win 14 games total.
Guys, Nick does make a good point. If you had a season with a winning record as a Jets starter, that automatically puts you in the top 3. Maybe top 2, but definitely top 3. So, and if you had a playoff appearance, then I don't know how you're not top 2. So, well, which O'Donnell did not have, of course. But, I mean, yeah, I think you're saying 2. Chet's kind of leaning 3 on this one. I just have a feeling we're going to get somebody
Matt Robinson.
So I could go 2. I could go 2 with this. I wouldn't mind it.
Who's Matt Robinson?
Oh, Matt Robinson played like in the late 70s. He kind of like relieved. He was like he kind of played relief. He was drafted in the late 70s. So he was like Richard Todd's backup.
Listen to this list.
Yeah.
Bryce Petty, Mike White, Greg McElroy, Luke Falk, Glenn Foley. Helen Clemens, Tim Boyle, Brooks Bollinger, Quincy Carter. I just named 9 guys who might not have a combined 13 wins between them all.
Now let's include Browning Nagel.
Yeah. Nagel.
Yep.
So I think with what we have to work with, you put him at 2 because you're going to get somebody who's got less than that. You got to leave it open.
Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah, because even if you imagine like what your top 5 Jets list would look. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to make sure I had O'Brien on there. I thought I did. I do. Okay, he's up there at the top. Yeah, most of the good ones are kind of like all together. Like Namath is next to Pennington, Favre, O'Brien, Boomer. They're kind of all together. Even McCown was okay. McCown was an okay quarterback as well.
Is that random on the wheel?
I could. Yep, I type them in and then I can have like a random button that kind of moves it moves the spaces around. I can always shuffle them if I want to. Yeah, I have that option. Okay, that's spin number 3. Wild Wave wants a quick recap. Sure, no problem. Rick Meyer, number 5. Aaron Rodgers, number 4. And Neil O'Donnell, number 2.
people
the
make
pain.
fun of our franchise.
I can't imagine why they do. Hey, imagine if we were doing this with the Chicago Bears quarterbacks. Can you imagine how bad that would be?
Wouldn't Rick Meyer make that list too? Wasn't he in Chicago too for a
He
bit? After
was.
Seattle?
Oh yeah, that helped me. That kind of triggered my memory of it. Yeah, I lived there for 20 years. Oh my god! I mean, Jay Cutler was like, he was
He
like
was the
top
cat's
3 they ever
pajamas.
had.
Oh,
So, all right,
right.
here we go. Let's go to spin number 4. Here we go. Let's get somebody good. Come on, come
Chad,
on,
baby.
come on, come on.
There you go.
That's it.
It's a solid 3.
Tigo and I officially hate you for that. The
I love
GOAT. Yep. Always will be my guy.
I can't
I hope
love
I get
Chad.
to meet him one day.
I can't love Chad because the way Tigo loves him. I can never let Tigo know that I agree with him.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level, but I am not far off.
No,
Yeah, I've got two Chad bobbleheads on my dresser over there. I've got 2 jerseys and like 3 framed cards. So I'm not a big memorabilia guy, but if it's I used to have like a Chad Pennington fathead on the wall as well.
Right.
It was pretty ridiculous. So he's probably like the one Jet I really would want to meet. Probably him and Mangold. So yeah, Chad is easily a number 1. And if you
Come
look
up
at all
to a
time
game next year.
quarterbacks, it's hard to keep him out of the top 3, certainly out of the top 4.
You come up to a game next year, I'll get you to meet Mangold.
All right. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll be interested to see what happens when that schedule comes out. I know they're going to Nashville, and I love Nashville, so hopefully that's at a good time. But yeah, we'll see if our group winds up doing a road trip because we haven't done that in a couple of years, and I'd like to go with the group someplace. But got to figure out the logistics of that. So, all right. Well, we've got in order Chad Pennington, Neil O'Donnell, a blank space, Aaron Rodgers, and Rick Myers. So what that means is we have to come up with a quarterback who is better than Aaron Rodgers and worse than Neil O'Donnell as a Jet.
I would say just leave the blank space there, and the blank space is perfect. A blank space is better than most of these guys anyway. Most of these guys were blank spaces.
I might have to go to like Mike Taliaferro or Babe Perilli. We have to go to like Joe Namath backups in the 1960s. I think I left them off the wheel. I hope nobody's offended by that.
All right, go ahead because I gotta return.
We're gonna turn in after this one. Yeah, for sure. Number 3.
Nice. What a night. Christian Hackenberg with more
Christian
jet notoriety.
Hackenberg. We landed on him twice in one night for the 100 and for the quarterbacks. Man, oh man.
It's fitting that Hackenberg never played, but
wait. I'm getting news. I'm getting an alert. I'm waiting an alert. The home office is saying he did not play a snap as a Jet. This spin does not count, and we will respin. That spin does not happen, and we are going to spin one more time. Here we go.
That is an insult to Hank G because he said that earlier on the 10 list. Look, there you got Luke Falk.
That's about okay. They're telling us something. Luke Falk. Hey, at least he played. He's pretty much on the same level as Rick Meyer. Okay, let's we'll get out of the share here.
I'm out, man. Thank you. I needed that. I needed a little pick me up. That was fun. I'm glad that I messaged you.
Glad to have you on. Anything you want to plug before you get going?
Just Heather Locklear. I don't even care how old she is. I still would love to plug. I'm sorry. I just want to I'll take a minute and just say, shout out to my buddy Pete, man. Great Jet fan who passed away. Just that's all. Say a prayer for my friend and his family and his boys. That's the best thing you guys can do.
Yeah,
that's
rest
it.
In peace, Pete.
I'd rather give a shout out than a plug tonight. So thank you for that.
You are welcome, man. All right, I'll see you later.
Take care, guys. Be good.
All right. So
You're where?
I haven't ended the show yet.
I know. I wanted to get you to say it.
All right, I'll say it right now. Everybody, thank you for joining me tonight for the Wednesday night live show. Hope everybody enjoys the football this weekend. Hope your teams win. Play some good bets if that's something that you like to do. I hope you win big. And We will see you next week right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Have a good night, everybody.